Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to today's live. Why do I feel so awkward? I feel short, eh? Sorry. Hi, True Fam. How are you all doing? How is your weekend? Oh, the weekend is over anyway. So, how was your weekend? Um, just give me a minute. I have some guests joining me. Um, Let me get them on board first, and then we'll continue with our live. Welcome, welcome. Let me know where you're watching me from. Say hello in the comment section. Let me share the links with other people, and then we'll get right into today's live. I am on the live with four other amazing people, and they're going to share their opinions and ideas on today's topic. So, today's topic is about culture and how it affects our relationships and marriages, and our lives in general. So, that is what we are going to be talking about today in today's live. Please give me a moment. Let me reposition myself very well, and then I'll share the links and we'll join. I'll have my co-host join today's live. But tomorrow is Valentine's Day. So if you're watching me, happy Val's Day in advance. Let me know what your plans for Valentine is, and then um we'll see. Me, I will be home, so I don't know. Just give me a minute, please. Let me have my guest join. Hi, Charisma.
Hey.
Can you speak for me to
Yeah,
let me
you
add
can hear
another
me. Can you hear
person?
me?
Hi, Yayura. Yayura, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello, hello,
I don't know if you can
hello.
hear me.
Oh, I think cause it's me. Please say hi. Let me know if I can hear you guys.
Hi,
I
hi,
don't seem
hi.
to.
Hi,
Okay, I
hi,
can
hi,
hear
hi.
you. Okay, that's great. Welcome to today's live, guys. Charisma, we can see your face. Your face is halfway. Okay, that's great. That's better. We have two more people joining. So I'll just welcome in my subscribers to today's live, and then I decided to bring you guys on board. So just give me a minute. Let me share the links with other people to have them join the live, and then we'll go right into today's topic. But before we do that, like whilst I'm doing that, you can introduce yourselves to my subscribers. Yeah, you are. Please go first.
Why do you have to put me on the spot like that? Choose
I
one.
don't know because you're smiling. You're smiling pretty, so I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, she goes
awesome.
first.
Okay, sorry about the noise, guys. Um, yeah, so my name is Yaira Rose. I go by Yaira Rose on YouTube, and I do mostly travel vlogs. Yeah, so that's basically me.
Okay, Charisma. Please introduce yourself to my lovely, lovely subscribers.
Well, you just said my name. My name is Charisma. I'm a Ghanaian currently living in Belgium. I'm a project manager and also an entrepreneur. And yeah, I'm your side chick.
Yes, she is. She's my side chick. She treats me like her boyfriend. I'm like,
Yeah.
girl, I'm not your boyfriend, okay? There's one more person joining. Kinky. Hello, Kinky Africa.
Hi,
Hi, lovely. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great also. So we have two people already on board. There's one more person joining, and they just introduced themselves to my lovely subscribers. So I would love you to also introduce yourself, and then we'll get right into the topic for discussion. I'm trying to share the links on my other platforms, and my
Okay.
internet is not working on the other phone. But
Oh,
please,
sorry.
go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kinky Curly Africa, as most of you know me. That's not my real birth given name, but of course, that's none of your business. Anyway, so I'm just kidding. My name is Pesca, but most of you know me as, per my brand, which is Kinky Curly Africa. I'm a Ghanaian and I live in Ghana, and I create beauty content, mainly natural hair content on Instagram and TikTok, and then YouTube Shorts. And then for main YouTube, it's more like just lifestyle and travel now. I used to create hair content on YouTube, but a girl decided to branch out. So just lifestyle and travel on main YouTube now. If you want hair content, go on to shorts and you definitely find it there.
Instagram.
I'm a full-time content creator and I have a side business, like she said, side chicks. So yes, my business is called Pinky Curly Co. Let me just take a moment to introduce my business to you guys because I can't miss
Please
opportunity.
do. Please do. We are
So
all
my
ears.
business, Kinky Curly Co. We basically create satin and silk accessories to help your skin and hair thrive, to keep it healthy, to prevent breakage, help you grow better and longer hair and all of that. So yes, we make pillowcases, bonnets, scrunchies, all the yada 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 yada. So yeah, that's basically that about me.
Okay, that's lovely. At
Nice to
least we
meet
all
you.
have some side hustles. Charisma, you're saying something?
I said, nice to meet her.
Oh,
Nice
nice to
to
meet
meet you,
you
of
too.
course. Nice to meet you all, ladies. Yeah, yeah, we can't really see your face. Where you are is very, very dark, but we'll manage with that. So this looks like an all girls event, but it's not.
Girls
Thank God.
gang.
We have a guy joining us. We have Victor who will join us soon. Just a minute.
Oh,
Okay. We have Victor who will join us soon. My network is not working on the other phone. This is so because I cannot interact with my subscribers on this phone that I'm using for the live. And I don't know what's working. Like, what's going on? Hey, my house which is there. Everywhere they'll follow me. Anyway, so today
See,
like
that's
for
why I
some
said you
reason
shouldn't go skydiving and all of that. Because they'll take the opportunity to
it
just
was working. Okay.
give you heart
I think
attack
it's
mid-air.
working now. Oh, thank God, it's working now. It came on. Thank God.
Hallelujah. It's because you call them out.
I know, right? Now let me share the link and then um so today's topic for discussion is, does culture or race really affect relationships and marriages? So we are going to discuss all the pros and cons about going into a relationship with the other race or kinky Kelly. That looks so going into a relationship with other race or ethnicity and the challenges involved and all those things. So that's what we are doing now. First of all, Kinky Kelly, do you really believe that race or ethnicity affects a relationship? And to what degree do you think it affects a relationship?
Oh, absolutely, and 100%. I don't know if I told you about this myself, but I've dated a Nigerian. Um,
Yeah.
how many Nigerians have I dated? It's like shower season. Oh.
oh
It's
my
shower
God.
season. But like,
You don't have to confess
yeah,
here.
I've dated a Nigerian to the best of my memory remembrance, if that even makes any grammatical sense. Yes. But then I did hang along with a lot of Nigerians. I have a lot of Nigerian friends, Kenyan friends, and all of that. But I've only dated a Nigerian. To me, the relationship kind of didn't go well at a point because of this whole um, different nationality and tribalism thing. Because he was Igbo, and I remember there was this other lady who was like a really close friend of his who wasn't really like respecting boundaries. And to make matters worse, like I feel like he didn't also really respect my boundaries and our boundaries as per how relationships are supposed to go. because I remember there was this one instance that we went to the cinema one day on his birthday, and then this girl was there, and then they decided to sit together, and he passed his hand behind me like this, and he was holding her hand throughout the movie. And it was a school thing, so like everyone in the school knew we were together, like our friends. It was so embarrassing, and they kept speaking their language over me.
Yeah.
So
I hate
I
that.
can't speak Igbo, and then you're speaking your language over me when you already know that I'm very uncomfortable with the kind of relationship you have with this
You have
person.
with the other person.
So like, let's bring it down. Like, if you were Ghanaian, in a way, maybe I would have understood the language, because there are so many languages in Ghana, which is like also an issue. But like, I feel like it does really, really, really affect a relationship, especially if you don't communicate or if you don't have that understanding. Because it's one thing to communicate something to someone, but if the person doesn't relate or understand it or get where you are coming from, then there's no communication, and it's not going to like really make sense, to the person. And on the other hand, I have dated another Ghanaian who was outside my tribe. Oh my God, if he sees this, he will die me. But I'm gonna say it anyway. So I posted a video of my friend recently when I actually spoke about this, and I sent him the link. I was like, go and watch it before I post it. So like I said, I came to disgrace you and your mother. Anyway. So I was dating him, like we were going cool.
Which tribe was that? A Ghanaian, which tribe?
He was Akan, and I'm Ewe.
Okay.
And I'm full breed, full blood Ewe. Not dilution anywhere. My Ewe accent is stick to the gut and back. Anyway, so I remember it was like his mom's birthday one day, and like he was at my end. Then he was like, oh, it's his mom's birthday. I was like, oh, then what are you still doing here? Like, go and help your mom. Like, it was a party and all of that. And then when he went and then they were packing up, his mom's friends goes like, hey, and there are 4 boys, right? So his mom's friends was like, hey, now your sons are, big, they're grown. What, they are girlfriends? Like, so she goes jovially, like, none of them has, brought her a girlfriend. But
to the house.
Then, like jovially, how mother say things jovially, but like low-key, they mean it. She was like, well, none of them has brought any girl home, but I hope none of them is going to bring any Ewe or not to her house. And I'm like, wait a minute, mommy. What
and you were in the house.
Saying?
You were in the house. You were in the house.
No. For him, we had a really what's the word? I don't want to say bargaining. Negotiations and understandings are really, really important in relationships, especially to me, because all my relationships, I tend to have this negotiation and understanding with all my boyfriends, that we learn to have difficult conversations and that we are honest with each other. So I prefer that even if you cheat on me, you come to me and tell me that, babe, this is what happened, rather than me going out and hearing from someone and then looking really stupid. So I'm like, no matter what happens, we talk about it.
So he came to tell you.
So he came to tell me, because over the next couple of days, he was just moody, and I was like, like, what's up? Like, what's up with you? And then he was like, he doesn't know how to tell me this, but that, like, this is what his mom said. And this is someone who is like, wears one trouser with the mom, like mommy's boy, like to the 1000th degree. So if his mom says this, like, he loves his mom so much that obviously it's gonna like hurt him. So I'm like, okay, I understand how you're feeling, but like, you have a really good relationship with your mom. So like, go and ask her that, like, oh, mommy, the other day he said this, like, were you joking or like he really meant it?
Are you really serious?
Guess what? Gentleman wants to have the conversation with mommy, and mommy goes like, yeah, I'm serious. Come and see my twist. Anyway, so I'm like, okay, cool. Like, his dad wasn't in town, so I was like, okay, you wait. When daddy comes to town, have a man-to-man conversation with daddy about it. See what daddy thinks. So that if it's 50-50, I know that, if I go forward with this relationship, at least there's one parent on my side. So if anything goes wrong, at least one person can
have that one parent to support you.
Yeah, guess what? When daddy comes back, daddy goes like, listen to
Daddy
your
saying the
mama,
same
boy.
thing.
Daddy says, listen to your mama, boy. So that's when like we
Okay,
both
let me
knew
not
that
cut
like,
you. Let me introduce Kwecho
oh sure.
Global, our only man on the panel. Hi, welcome to today's live stream. So what we did earlier on was to introduce ourselves. And so please go ahead and introduce yourself to my other crew, my other host, sorry. I have Charisma on the far right or left, whatever it is. And then Kinky Kelly, I think you already know her. We had Yayura on board, but we lost her along the line. I think her network. And then we have you also. So please introduce yourself to the other hosts.
All right. Hello, guys. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Thank you so much. My name is Victor Shadrach Nakokwecho. I am a YouTuber, and that's my channel name, Kwecho Global. I'm a swim coach, and I'm a poet as well. That's basically what I am.
I saw your video on Ni Ames post with your wife. I hope I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
how was
yeah, yeah,
it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Now he also has a couples channel. So you all
Yeah,
Hey,
go find
hey.
yourself a partner and have a
yeah.
couples channel because that's the ish
Take
that's
out
the
on
ish
them.
in
Go and
Ghana
marry. Go
now.
and marry.
Why are you throwing
That's
shade?
the ish in Ghana now. Couples channel.
Yvonne, why are you throwing shade?
I'm not. I want to find out from you guys. What's your plan for the Vows Day? Kwesi, what's your plan first? Kwecho, sorry, I always call you Kwesi. What's your plan for Valentine's Day?
Is it for me and my wife?
I don't know. You and of yeah,
You
maybe.
have a side
Hopefully.
chick.
I don't have a cycle. That would have been a very good. I
Or
know,
if you have
right?
a side chick, then yeah, you and your side chick.
Oh, maybe even if you can be my side chick, that'll be fine. But
Ah,
that's just by the way.
If good
please,
his
I'm a
wife
full
cheats on
option.
you, eh?
I'm a full option. I cannot be a side chick. I'm a full
Go
option.
girl.
Okay.
That's
Thank
good. That's
you.
good. I like that. Well,
Okay.
I don't have a plan yet. Tomorrow is just Valentine's Day, right? I'm gonna be very busy, like work from 5 a.m. all the way to. I'm gonna be very busy, so we don't really have a plan for Valentine's Day yet. But we'll see what happens along the day. Maybe we might go out to go eat something, and maybe that's fine. That'll be it for the day. But I'm very busy tomorrow.
Lydia Esinam says hashtag single lives matter.
Maybe I go and marry.
We do. We
We
matter.
do.
With
Our
you,
lives
girl. We
matters. That's very
matter.
true. That's very true. So let me go to my friend, my side chick. She's actually my side chick. Charisma. Charisma, I want to find out from you. Do you really think culture or ethnicity affects a relationship?
Of course,
Please don't make it
absolutely.
too long.
No, I'm not going to make it too long, but yeah, I do think culture affect and race affect relationships all around. Um, it's not really we can really say that okay because one person is from another race or that race, then culture plays a role. I feel like like T said, she met a Ghanaian, okay, and there were some differences, right? So when we're talking about culture affecting relationships, we can talk about the race part, okay, and also the family culture, because the guy that
Yeah.
she was dating, they had a family culture that okay, you don't bring the an Ashanti or an L woman home, you know. So then when you're going into a relationship, you don't only want to learn about the culture of the person you're dating, maybe if they're from another country or from another tribe, but also their family dynamics, you know. So when you understand all of these things, then you can build a happy, healthy, sustainable relationship with anybody. So yeah, culture, that's really plays an important role in relationship. But then you have to ask the question, okay, where's the person coming from? How was the person raised? What are their ways of life? And not only based on their tribe or their race, but also in within their family dynamics.
Yeah. And also, let me add to that. I think that every culture is different on the kind of emphasis they put on their culture in relation to relationships. Some cultures are just like It's your happiness. So whatever you feel comfortable with, we are okay to accept that. And some other cultures are very strict with, their rules and their culture, and they're like, we don't want you to step outside of our culture. So I agree with what Charisma is saying. It also depends on I won't say the value of the people's culture, but how liberal they are in accepting other cultures into their
Not
midst.
really the
Kwecho, what
people, but
is
also the family, not
the
just
family?
a group
Yes,
of people,
yes,
but then the
yeah,
family's culture.
yeah, that's true. Kwecho, what's your take on that? Before we dive into the different questions for the day.
Okay, so yeah, first of all, I strongly believe that for a relationship to work, um, it's not really about the culture at the end of the day. It's not really about the ethnicity at the end of the day. It's about the individual. But yes,
Okay.
culture does play a very big role in relationships. For it to stand, for it to work. And just like Charisma said, there are some ethnic groups here in Ghana that strongly disagrees with, let's say, an Ashanti going out with an Ewe. It's
I don't
it's
know why
something that
that is such a big deal, though. The Ashantis and the Airways, we really need to find out the root cause of that problem. Honestly, I think there's
you know
I can
something
tell you.
bigger than. Come again.
and it's not only even Asantis and Ewe, right? It's even Gans and Ewes. Secondly, it's not only Gans and Ewes,
Really,
but it's even Fantis and Ashantis. So
really,
there's
I haven't heard
yeah,
Fantis and Ashantis.
yeah.
Me
So so
either.
so so that's the thing. That's the thing. It's even Fantis and Ashantis. So it's like there's a whole lot that goes on with this. But at the end of the day, you realize that I'm not in a relationship because of my tribe. No. If really you look at the whole concept of relationship, it shouldn't be because of my tribe. You see, because at the end of the
Yeah,
day, if you end up marrying the person and you guys are gone, you realize that the tribe is playing no role in the relationship at the end of the day. But for those who
yeah,
strongly have been baptized in their tradition and their tribe and all of that, they are those that it affects. And I mean, just it's affected strongly. It's only and surprisingly, it's only in Africa. And let me be specific. It's only in Ghana that's because I'm in Ghana. I'm not in Nigeria, so I can't tell what's happening in
I
Nigeria.
think it's Africa. It's not just Ghana.
Yeah.
I think
It's
it's
an
Africa.
African
So,
thing.
yeah.
It's an
So it's only
African
in
thing.
Ghana. Exactly. It's only in Ghana that it's a strong thing that this person and that person can be together because this person is a Fanti and I'm an Asante. This person is a Gan and this person is an Ewe. When love is in play, it has nothing to do with tradition. When true purpose for why people are connected is in play, it has nothing to do with tradition. But our tradition has required or made it. I want to use the word, it's a word not compulsory, but they have made it look like it's compulsory that you must marry somebody from your tribe. Which in the permits me to use biblical concept. In the biblical concept, marrying somebody from your home is like the way to go. But we have corrupted it in our system and in our time so much that we are making it look like if you're from this place, you can marry
If you
from
go
here.
outside,
Uh,
As
you
if it's
see,
almost a taboo.
exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
I think it has to do with the fact
So
that in the olden days they were doing that to ensure the continuations of the various tribes. So they go like,
Yeah,
yeah,
of the
okay, you have to
tribes.
marry
I
within
think
this
so.
our tribe so that we will grow. But now we are in the 21st century. Who does that?
But
exactly.
So
it also kind of stems from the
what
fact that like some families have had some experiences, like for instance, what, like in my case, the reason they gave was that one of their aunties, uncles, grandmothers, somebody got married to an Ewe, and this and this and that happened. And in my head, when I heard that, I'm like, me, my family is like assorted rice, right? There's
Yeah.
people from everywhere, not every, like there's people from everywhere in my house. So I'm like, are you trying to tell me that like in my home, there are not people who are married to other tribes who have
Mm-hmm.
issues,
Yes.
but at
Is
the end
it
of the day, people have the right to do what they want to do. So
Yes. You're right.
So the reason for this live was last week. I don't know if any of you saw the video. There was this lady, I think she's an Ewe, and she's been with this guy for whatever years or months. And I think they wanted to get married. She went with the guy to the house, and the mother, according to the lady, because I didn't hear the the mother's part. But according to the lady, the mother was very disrespectful, insulting her. That she didn't want the son to bring home anywhere, with all these old mentality kind of talk. And you can see the hurt in the woman's video, in her face. Like, she was so hurt, like, I've been with your son all this while, I've invested in him, you didn't see any problem wrong with that. But the moment it got to the point where we have to settle, now there's an issue with my tribe. Why is it my tribe? Like, what? I didn't do anything to you, my mother didn't do anything to you. For all you know, none of, like, anybody anywhere has done nothing to you, but because of a mentality from years back,
a
you're
stereotype.
holding on to this, but you have no personal experience with an aware to say that because of this thing that this person has
Yeah.
done to me, this is the reason why I don't want you to marry from this. You don't have any example, you don't have any personal link to what you're saying. But and it hits me, like, because I don't have that experience in my home. My mom has never, like, said that. My mom has married an Ewe before. I have had my fair share of how they can be, but it was never something that
And what do you mean by how they
I would
can
be
be?
like, come again.
What do you mean by how they can be?
I mean,
Because
how
I
bad?
feel like
No,
when we
it's not
say
it's
things
not an
like that,
everything, but I'm saying that how bad, like, a person can be towards you.
exactly.
Uh-huh.
So I
That's
feel like quantifying, like making full statements like that, kind of takes the stereotype away. Because when you say something like "I have my own fair share of how it can be," like how it
then
might
it's
be perceived
categorizing
and
them
how
as
you
an airway.
intended
Yes.
may not be the
But yeah,
same.
I'm
You
just
get,
saying that how, but what I'm trying to say is it could have given me the 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 right to say that, oh, because I've had this experience with them, I don't want to be associated with them. But still, I'm like, this person is their family issue, is a personal, issue. So I'm not going to let that affect my relationship with somebody totally different. If I'm in a relationship with an Ewe, I'm looking at that person and their family, right? So I'm checking how their family are treating other people, how he's treating somebody else. It's not like a global or a national kind of thing for me. Oh, Ewes are like this. I'm like, this family is this way. So if it's not a good thing, then I need to move away from that. But if it's a good thing, then I don't care about their generation, or whatever. So that was what, like, came to my mind, and I was like, let me have other people on board to talk about this. So I tried to research on race and ethnicity because it was a little confusing for me, and this is what I found out. So, because I didn't think that, Western people had ethnicity. I thought it was all like race, and it's only in Africa that we have ethnicity. I was wrong. So race is defined as a category of mankind that shares certain distinctive physical traits. So race is usually associated with, like, biology and, like, physical characteristics such as hair texture, skin color, and all those things. So that's how come you have, like, black people, because all their skin color is black, or their hair texture is a certain way. So that is race. When it comes to ethnicity, it is defined as so ethnicity is a broader term than race. The term is used to categorize groups of people according to their cultural expression and identification. So you can have people like you can have black. So Africa, we are black people, but we have different ethnicity. That would be like when it comes to Ghana, it will be the Akans, the Ewes, the Gans, based on our cultural expressions. So that is the two differences of race and ethnicity. So the first question that I have is it's not a question really, it's a challenge that I have. I realize that most African parents have an issue with their children marrying different tribes. I don't know why anytime you have to use an example like that, it's always like an Ewe versus the Akans. Question, I'm sorry about that, but that's the most common example that comes to mind. So they will have an issue with an Ewe marrying an Akan or an Akan marrying an Ewe. However, they will not have an issue with their children marrying outside their race. Like the family will fight heaven and earth to stop an Akan and Ewe marriage, but will move heaven and earth to approve of, say, an Akan and a Chinese marriage or an Australian, somebody far. And sometimes the excuse that they will give you is, oh, the person's hometown is too far, right? So I'm like, okay, the person's hometown is too far, like, oh, but then Australia or Canada or whatever is further away than the ever person that you are complaining about. So I want to find out from you, what do you think is the reason why? Like, why do our parents do that? Because I always think about that. Like, nobody is going to complain if you are marrying somebody outside of Ghana. But then within Ghana, they I don't understand that. Why do you think that is an issue with our parents? Kwecho, please go first.
Okay, so first of all, this whole thing starts from our upbringing. And when I say upbringing, it starts from our parents' upbringing. You see, growing up, I got a lot of information about Ewes, how Ewes are very um, medicinal. How you get that? Like the omuye juju, those kind of things. And how Ewes
Mm-hmm.
are this, how Ewes are that, how Ewes are this. And also Ewe women and Ewe girls, and how they are this, how they are that, and blah blah blah. So growing up, I was already fed with this information, right? You can imagine what will happen if I don't end up marrying an Ewe, and probably I marry an Ashanti, and some of my child is a child of mine is going to marry an Ewe. If I'm not the type of person who likes to renew my mind on certain concepts, certain ways of life, I will not allow my child to marry an Ewe, because for a long time this information that I've received from childhood has so affected my mind, it has become what I believe. So even if it hasn't happened to me before, because of the information I've received, it's affecting my children. So you get where I'm coming
Okay.
from. So
Yeah. Yeah.
many of these people, it is the information that they have been fed from growing up about Ashantis, about Ewes, about basically all of those tribes. So for me, that's what I've come to see, that the underlying thing is our upbringing and the information that has been fed us from the beginning. That is one of the things for me. But under normal circumstances, one of the things I've come to learn is that marrying somebody is not your father or your mother's right to say I won't allow. It's even more of a
Yeah. Yeah.
it's even more
Yeah.
of it's more of an honor to them that you are marrying. You
Mm-hmm.
see, so why would they say that because I'm an Asante and I want to marry an Ewe is a no-no? It's more of an honor to them. It's more of a glory to them that, hey, your child is marrying, because for superstition and traditional beliefs and all that, there's some families that they don't marry. So imagine your family they don't marry at
Yeah.
all, and
Yeah.
then I'm going to marry an Asante because I'm an Ewe. You say I should date. What you're actually also doing that you are retarding my marriage progress. So I'm becoming like that family that doesn't marry. You see
Yeah.
the way the whole thing is. So it is literally the information that all of us were fed on from growing up. And those who have not renewed their mind, it affects them. And mind you, there is a scripture that says that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. But what we are thinking in our heart is an information that we have received for a long time. It's what we have believed. You see, if Yvonne, I see you right now, and I start acting towards you in a way, it's because of what I have perceived from you.
Yeah,
I may not have
definitely.
told you. I may not have told you. And if you are an Ewe, also it will be how I would relate with you because you are an Ewe, also because of the information I've received about an Ewe. So the Ewe has not done you anything, no. But you'll be surprised that's how you react because of the information you have received. So the idea is the thing that's the root cause that we really have to look at when we want to address this ethnicity thing, this culture thing, and this race thing. Because and one of the things is that when it comes to the race thing, for example, I did a video on my channel with Osef Kwame, right? And I asked him about his wife. He married a white woman. And this is how he
Yeah.
put it. He said that he's not married to a white woman, he's married to an European woman. And this is what he said. Let me quote him. He said that the person is a person first, not the color.
Not an European first. Yeah.
I mean, not like the white woman. The person is a
Mm-hmm.
human being. You are a human being. I must be able to love you not because of your color. I must be able to choose and decide to stay with you not because you are slim, you are big, you have big this, you have big that, or because of your tradition, because of that. I must choose you first, not because of your color or the
First.
race. You see,
Yeah.
and that is where we have gotten it wrong. At we have gotten the whole concept wrong, and we have to rewrite that concept with the information that we have received. So let's change the information we have received, and I think everything will be better. That's
Okay, so
that's just
let's go to Charisma. Charisma, what's your take on the question? Why do you think our mothers, our parents are like that?
Well, first of all, he's right. It's information that we have received. Maybe somebody could even watch a movie where an elder man is being bad, and then they will say, "Oh, my daughter or my son will never marry."
Yeah.
And but then again, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Some of our parents love money. They love the idea of having mixed race children. So then they would treat the elder man or the Akan man bad and say that you cannot be with our daughter or son, but they will accept the Obroni because they feel like, okay, our daughter is going to be married to an Obroni or something,
Yeah.
and then he will get an opportunity to leave the
Half
country to go
caste.
to your
They'll,
how
they'll be the
exactly.
half caste granddaughter or whatever.
So like yeah, and then yeah, so it's not always about the information we've received, but also comes with okay what the family accept as okay or as normal, because they would accept a half caste mixed race as normal within their family, but they may not accept an Ewe man or a Kan man or a Kan woman as normal in their family. So yeah, what he's saying is right, but other aspect like money and having mixed race children also comes to play.
Yeah. Okay, so my take on that is I think I agree with Charisma more. It's because, and then also you, Kwecho, when it comes to the local issues, it's more of what we've perceived over the years. And as you said, the movies and all these things that portray a certain tribe as negative. I remember growing up, I always hear people say that, oh, Ashantis really take care of their spouses and stuff like that, and all the negative things about Ewes. But I have dated Akans, and I didn't really see that,
yeah, I can't
taking care
agree.
of like washo, I haven't really,
That's true.
but I've dated Ewes. Um,
Mhm.
Interestingly, I never really wanted to date Ewes, even though I knew that it wasn't, I'm not like I don't want to date Ewes. But also back there, you have that little voice that's telling you that, these people are bad. These people are bad, eh? So I'm not too like intrigued about Ewes, but I'm
Yeah.
not also like, oh, if I really like this person, I'm not going to be with them because they are Ewes. So I always have that thing. But I find myself always, I think I think it's most of my relationships have been with Ewans, and even my potential relation, like most of the people who have approached me for something, I'm like, I think either I'm going outside of Ghana or I'm stuck with this tribe, because it looks like I can say 80% of the people that have come my way are Ewans, and the ones that I've actually dated were really, really nice to me, you know. So, and then these Ashantis that they were supposed to spoil me with money, I never saw that. But that's just by the way. So, coming back to the question, I think is the perception that our parents had, or also some of the experiences that they've been through, that they haven't emancipated their mentality from, and they are still holding on to that, you know, that pain or whatever, and also based on the benefits that they will get from their children marrying somebody outside. You know,
Exactly.
some of them are
That's
thinking
always the
of,
case. Yeah,
and
that's
yeah,
always the
some of them are
case.
thinking
Yeah.
of, you know, you coming to visit. Oh, worry, Bronia, you know, I'll go and visit and take care of the kids and all that. So that is the main reason, or it's going to give you a better life. You're going to, you know, all these things that we see white people, quote unquote, to be superior over us. So
Mhm.
But
you're, I've
but
never,
Yvonne,
I've never heard an African mother who wouldn't allow their, in Nigeria and India, they've married Nigeria and India. Like, and Nigeria will marry an Indian. And I'm telling you that people will have an issue with a Nigerian even marrying a Ghanaian. But see, they will
Yes.
travel all the way to India to get married. So yeah, that, let me read some of the comments that we have, because our subscribers are having like a heated discussion in the comment section. I don't even know where to start from. But one person said something that's
but
very interesting.
Yvonne, I
Um,
said that
Brown coats, come again.
I want to add something up before you read the
Okay,
comments.
okay.
One of the things you have realized is that you'll be surprised that this same Ewe and then the account tradition thing that is happening, right? You'll be surprised that for hypocrisy and greed purposes, if there's an Ewe parent and then their daughter is going to marry Osei Kwame's despite son.
Oh,
Look
of
at Osei Kwame,
course, of
they
course.
won't say
I
they won't
I
say
know
that
what you're going to say.
they won't say that.
I've seen a Muslim marry an Ewe, a Muslim, because the Ewe is rich. He
Yeah,
is fucking rich, and the
they
Yeah.
won't
They
Muslim,
always
say
choose the
I mean, like,
money. They always choose the money.
for
yeah,
hypocrisy purposes,
yeah,
yeah, they won't say that. Osei Kwame's son is Ashanti, so let's not marry from their
no,
family. No,
no,
it's because
of
Osei Kwame is
course.
rich. But despite is rich, so it's for hypocrisy purposes. All of those things, personal
So
gain.
I have brown coat blue, who says that the main reason Rwanda was able to advance so quickly is they banned all tribes after the genocide. So Rwanda doesn't have any tribal whatever. That's I Kweto Global, do you know anything about that? Because that's very new to me. I didn't know, and I have to
Yeah,
go and read about that. But I think that would be very, very interesting to ban all tribes. So we are all one people, like we are Ghanaians. There's no Akan or no Fanti or whatever in our mix. And then somebody says, Della and Rose says, Ewes are Juju people is the most hilarious and ignorant statements I've heard about Ewes.
Yeah.
And yeah, I really, sometimes I really feel bad for Ewes, because most of the bad things when it comes to tribal are relating to Ewes. And it's really sad to know that, you know, anytime people are talking like marriages between tribes, you know, or cultural whatever, the Ewes are in there, and there's so many bad things to say about them. And I don't know, I just feel bad. You guys, sorry, I know it's none of your fault to be an Ewe, but you are always
and
stuck with this thing.
and
I apologize on behalf of all the people who don't want to apologize. Please, uh, just just take it cool. Why?
And
Question, you
Ifa,
wanted to say something?
yes, I think that for the Ewe clan that people are saying that Ewes are this and Ewes are that. I think that for a long time it is also because of how the Ewe tribe had portrayed themselves to every tribe for a long
Please,
time.
please hold on. Let me read this comment. It's just funny. Genevieve says, "Ewes are suffering. Oh, hey, I wonder what they did centuries ago. I think an Ewe man took an Ashanti woman's girlfriend.
Yeah, that
Ashanti's
could be the
man's
case.
girlfriend."
That could be the case.
Somebody wants to try. Like, I really want to know the issue. Honestly, I think we'll have to get, because I
Yes.
remember. Sorry to
So,
cut you,
I can
Kwejo. I
tell you,
remember.
I know.
I remember one time I posted a video about kente making. So I went to do my research and I learned that kente actually originated in the Ashanti, in the Volta region, right? So I did a video about it, and oh my god, the backlash that I got.
You
Like,
remember I even
who is
texted you
feeding you
for
with
because
this
of that.
wrong information? Is the Ashantis? I'm like, whoa, relax. It's just an information that I heard. If it's wrong, fine. But oh my god, I don't know.
You
Kwejo,
remember
please
I
finish
texted
your
you?
statement.
so it's also because of the way the Ewes have portrayed themselves for a long time. You
How did
know,
we portray ourselves? I want to know.
oh,
Tell us. I'm
oh, please,
representing my
please hold
people.
on, please hold on.
He's
You
he's
see,
part of
Justify your
you.
inclusion.
you
Tell
see,
us.
you see, I grew up. I'm from a royal family. Okay, I grew up from a royal family where, growing up as a royal, you are taught things that you need to know as a royal because chances that you'll be next of king is high or next of chief is high. And you know, I grew up in a family where some uncles, muye juju, and when you find out, when you ask, anyone na who call na who here do no one, call Eweland. You
No, that's
see,
stereotyping. No, 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 no,
Yeah.
no, no. You don't.
you see,
I don't think you have
oh,
to say
And you
that.
know, I even did a video on that. I did a video with that with one of my uncles. I'm also from the royal family as well. And my family line produces the Asante Hinis of the Ewes, which is
Mm.
the Awomafia, higher than the Awomafia, right?
yeah,
So I decided to do an interview with one of my uncles who was a chief, Togbiku Masai, so currently on my channel. So I remember we were talking about how the history of Juju and all of these things came from. And what he actually told me is that the Ewes and the Anglo clan is actually like a pure clan, because what Anglo means is like the scribes, and our history traces back to like the Israelites, like as in from the Bible.
yeah,
And then when we're talking about Juju, he was like, actually, Juju doesn't originate from Ewes.
From
Those were
Ewes.
actually things that people brought from outside to come and corrupt the people. So in Anglo land, there are even some Jujus that are banned. Juju, such as he even said something like it came to a point in time where the women were doing juju on their husbands, so that when they are in labor, their husbands will feel the pain of labor.
Oh, I want to do
I
that
want
juju.
that.
I want to do
I
that
said
juju.
that too. I said that too. So he was like, it's
see,
actually not
already
an
you feel the
Ewe
pain.
thing.
Already the pain is felt by the men. So if you want to add the pain, you to be double. That is
No,
serious wicked.
no, for
No,
the man
it
to feel
doesn't
the
matter.
pain.
When you feel the pain, you appreciate what your wife. You know, when I said that, you know what he said? It was like, if that's the case, then you only have one child because it is painful. But anyway,
Ah.
yes. But like, let's not deviate. It was like juju is not like an Ewe thing, and voodoo, in Ewe actually is not a bad word. It actually means free the people. So vo
Okay.
Okay.
is to free. A zoo in Ewe means like the people, like a township or like a group of people.
Oh.
So Vodou means free the people. So the juju that was actually present originally in Ewe land was used to like cure people of diseases such as, when someone is possessed and then the person is running mad and things like that. Then they will take you to the shrine to actually heal you. So it was when other people started bringing in other forms of bad juju from other places that people, sometimes someone do something to you and it really hurts you, you want to pay the person back. So people started going to different places to bring juju back. So juju is originally not an Ewe thing.
Yeah, thanks for
It's a
clarification.
stereotype. And then the unfortunate thing is, one thing I realized with Akans and other tribes is that they deal with a lot of ignorance. Here's my case. Let me make my case. They hear something from somewhere, they don't do their research to verify, then they carry it on top of their head that they went to fetch water from the street.
Exactly.
Then they tell this person, they tell that person, and they tell that person. And because they don't research to find the truth, it kind of becomes like a stereotype. Hey, this group of people are this way. Meanwhile, I feel like it's so unfair to Ewes, because when you get to Ewe land, you don't see those kind of divisions that like, hey, you're an Akan, so we'll treat you this way, or Akans are like this, or Akans are like that. I grew up in Akachi. I went to school in Akachi partly before like I came to school in Accra. I've schooled in Cape Coast. I've schooled in other places. And I tell you for a fact, in Ewe land, this thing is not there like, oh, this person is from this tribe, so we'll treat you this way or that way. So I don't get why Ewes get so much hate.
And the fact that his uncles went to Ewe land for juju does not mean those juju men are Ewes.
Exactly.
They could be from Nigeria or Kumasi or Koforidia or anywhere.
Even in Accra, juju men are doing adverts on TV. How many of them were Ewe? And they called Malam Abdullah.
But do you know that the Ashantis really do juju?
They
more
do.
Than the Ewens.
They do.
Exactly.
Just that they don't speak of it.
I'm telling you, they do juju. And me,
I think juju is everywhere in all the tribes in Ghana. Not even in Ghana, in Europe. The white
even
people
in America, they do it. This whole
magic here. They have the weekend. They do all sort of things. But then when you come to Ghana, it's like, oh, the Ewes. I don't know why they are always on the Ewes saying you guys are the home for all juju.
2 examples of how juju was used for good in the history of Ewes. Like what he was saying, in the royal family, you are obligated and mandated to be taught certain things, right? So let me give you 2 examples of how juju was used in Ewe and how this whole Ewe Akan feud came about, right? According to what I was taught and the books I read, because I read history as well in school.
Okay.
There was once a war, when the Ashantis were trying to like conquer the whole Ghana, then they will go to like, they do it town by town, right? So they'll come to, let's say, town A, they'll conquer the people, so that becomes their territory, and all of that. So then when they decided to come to Ewe land, unfortunately, you see, this is why it's good to learn languages, so that you don't get sold out. That's why when I can't do that, the Ewe language is too heavy for my tongue. Be that we will sell you. Anyway, so thank you. So they decided that they are going to conquer the Ewes. And Ewe land tend to have a lot of like coastal areas, right? So you need to learn to swim, take the canoe. And Ashanti region, where are you going to swim? In the sand or in the plantain farm? Anyway, so when they came, they needed a boat ride across was it the lagoon or the sea? One of them. Now they met a fisherman so he was there, and then they needed a canoe ride. Now that fisherman could speak both Chi and Ewe. So when they came to him, he acted like he didn't understand their language. And they was like, oh, they want him to cross them over. So like this whole sign language. He's like, okay, fine. He will take you to cross, right? So then he takes a couple of them. When they get into the middle of the sea, far away from the rest, then he topples them over. Because they don't know how to swim, they drowned. So that's how he did. And one man killed like all of their soldiers. That's why when you go to the Ashanti land, their motto is Wokuma Pima Pimbeba, which means if you kill 1,000, 1,000 more will come, right? Now when you come to the Anglo states, is it motto of the Anglo state is Anglo Kochi Lolo. Nakachi de Kanojuma being which means like Anglo as a state, one single firewood can cook a whole, pot of meal. So that one firewood is that
Oh,
one
that
man that
one
destroyed all.
fisherman.
So if it was you, won't you be bitter? Of course, one person learned your language and destroyed all of you. So when I'm proud to be an Ewe, bring it up. None of your stereotypes can bring it on, boo boo. So that's one instance that like something as simple as logic was used to like help the people. Now another
Oh, okay.
instance where juju was used to like help the people was where the Anglos were running away from Noche in Togo. I'm sure you've heard about that story. So history has it that Okonfa Noche and Togbi Agokoli are Okonfa Noche and Togbi Charlie are actually twins. That's a different history lesson for another day. But then when they were leaving, Togbi Charlie actually, they said he made the footsteps look like they were really old footsteps. So when the soldiers from Togo were, so they're like, they said he made animals come and walk on the footsteps. So it made them look like it was really
Oh.
old. So when the soldiers were looking for them, because they were walking backwards and they look like really old footsteps, they are like, these footsteps are leading into the
This is
city
not
and it looks really
them.
old. So it can't be them. So you see, so that's one instance that juju was used to like help the people. And when they were also running away, they were famished. So he caused maize to grow like overnight for them to like use for food. That's also another good instance that juju was used for like the people. So when they say that juju is actually used for good and it's other people who
Yeah.
actually corrupted it, I get that. Because even in the
Yeah.
Bible, you as a Christian, you have power. But there are times you do things that
mhm.
you know that you're not proud of.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Yeah.
for other tribes to be like Ewens and like this thing, let you who is without sin cast the first stone. Let us. I've spoken
So
for
I
my
have I
people.
have I have a
Let's move
comment
on.
from someone, brown coat blue. He says, as an outsider, let me put it on the screen. He says, as an outsider, it seems more to me that most of the juju stuff happens in the Ashanti region. Every week I hear about someone doing money rituals near Kumasi, and now the fetish priest is on the run.
Oh my
I
God.
think it's
The
everywhere.
fetish
We,
priest is
we
on
can't
the
just
run.
blame it all
Okay.
on the airways and say
It's
that
everywhere. It's
it's
everywhere.
everywhere. It's everywhere. Everywhere in Ghana, everywhere in Europe, everywhere in the world. So we can't say because of that we're not going to allow our children to marry airways or to be with airways. That is so wrong. That is
Okay.
stereotype, and we should change
So
that narrative.
yeah, we should.
And
Let's
in
move on to
Europe, even
the so Charisma, you have dated outside your race, right? I don't know
Oh,
if any of us, me, I don't think I've really dated like a serious, I've not had a serious thing with anyone outside my race, but I've had like a fling or two here and there. But you have had like a
confession.
full, relationship with somebody outside your
tell us
race.
about it.
How I know, right? What is the difference? How does it differ from the people in your race?
Okay, like he said, like Quechua, right? Quechua, right?
Yeah, Pecho.
Yeah, he said that when you're dating somebody, okay, the person is first a person before the race, right? So then, if you're asking me, how does it differ from my race? For me, I didn't really choose to be with a person because of his race, but because of who he is and what I was looking for in a man, you know. But then, if I should answer your question as to what's the difference between dating somebody from
Mar-
my race and
yeah.
from another race,
Which race did you date from? European, right?
European, yeah.
Yeah.
I think like it has to do with how they make you feel, how they treat you, how they make you feel you're special, you're needed, you're heard, protected. Because a man's job is to protect, support, and care for his woman, and they give you all of this, right? Whereas in my race, I have to be, oh my god, risky. Whereas in my race, I have okay, some men do it, but then I have to be all of that. You understand? I have to support myself. I have to protect myself, as well as give that to
To
my
your
man.
partner.
You know, the woman should be the receiver. You know, when you're dating, okay, with my experience with dating outside my race, I was a receiver, you know, I was the
Yeah.
receiver. But then if I should date in within my race, I'm not only going to be the receiver, I'm going to be the receiver and a giver.
And the
And then
giver.
you hear that a lot from my African sisters that, okay, we're dating this guy and then we're not being protected, we're not being supported, like we're not being pampered like the women that we should be. And then like when they go and then date other people from another race, like they get all of this love, you know, and then they feel like, oh my God, like we were missing so much. So it has to do with how the person makes you feel. And then again, what you're looking for in a man.
Okay. Kinky Kelly, you've not dated outside the race, but you've dated outside your tribe, right? Or your ethnicity. How was
Or my
that? And
nationality.
have you dated from your ethnicity also?
Have I? I have to think about it. um, personally,
Yes.
you guys don't take it the wrong way. I love my elder brothers and sisters, but I don't think if I have a choice, I don't want to marry an Ewe. I don't want to marry
But
even
why
a
is
Ghanaian.
that so?
I don't
Okay,
want to
you
marry
see,
an African.
My elders don't want to marry
Why
their
don't
That's
you
guys.
just
why don't you want to marry an
yeah.
African?
I want a
so
little cream
that is
in my
putting more
coffee.
stereotype on the
You want
airway
what?
I want
because
some cream in my coffee.
You want to have mixed race children, or you want to be
What,
pampered, you want to be
what cream
treated
are you
like
talking about? Guys,
No, it's more about
what
my
yeah,
baby.
what cream are
About
you
my
talking
babies and
about?
what I like. I
what
want some
cream?
cream in
Clarify the cream.
my coffee. When I say I want some
What
cream
cream
in my
is? What
coffee, you
cream?
don't get it.
but then
You don't get
if you just go into the relationship because you want to have mixed race babies and then you want to have some cream in your coffee, then at the end of the day you end up lowering your standard because you just accept anybody that comes to you. But then if
Oh
you
no, I get that. That's why I said if I had a choice, like if I was to choose. Because you know the heart was what the heart wants. You get what I mean? The
Mhm.
heart wants what the heart wants. But if I'm supposed to choose, I'm gonna want some cream in my coffee.
What
That's
kind of
just it.
cream are you talking about? What kind of cream?
coffee
Cream.
cream,
Oh,
coffee cream.
almond milk, whole milk, full cream milk.
Okay, Kwacho, have you dated outside and in your ethnicity? If you have, what was the difference of dating both not race, ethnicity?
Well, I've not dated before. Like my wife is my first girlfriend,
Whoa,
Huh?
and
whoa.
Okay.
Are you
yeah,
joking?
Hey, hey, good for you. Let me
Are you
clap for you
joking? You're
too.
joking, right?
Hey, and I
I'm
okay, I'm
serious.
crazy.
Wow.
Wow.
Well, I have a
Yeah, my wife
question.
is my wife.
I have a question. Is it that
Okay.
like you like maybe you've been with other people, but you won't classify it as a relationship? Because you know, some people will be like, "Oh, I'm single," but like they're being backed up as
They are
single.
talking to
So like you've had
people and
flings or complications or situationships and all of that. Is it that
No,
or like you just haven't been with anyone before?
no. You see, relationship in general is a very broad thing. It's a broad subject, right? And if we want to talk about relationship, then we would have to define the kind of relationship that we will be in. I want a relationship, and I know the kind of relationship I want. So there were a lot of girls that came my way. Some I asked them out, they didn't accept. I moved on. Some they chose other guys over me to go and date them and marry them. I moved on. So there will be no relationship if it's not defined by both parties from the beginning. I hope you get that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
might
do.
end up, I might end up, I might end up shagging a girl doesn't mean we have a relationship, or we
No,
might end
that's
up shagging.
wrong.
No, you do. You have a
No,
sexual relationship, honey.
No, no, no,
Oh,
no, no. If
okay.
you're shagging another girl, it means
It's not.
that means your wife was not, or it's not the only woman you've been with.
Yeah.
You're shagging other women.
No, please hold on. Please hold on. Please hold on. Please hold on. You see, what I'm trying to say is that there are people who, allow me to say, they will claim they are fuck buddies, right? And would you consider that as a relationship? It's just a question.
To some extent, yes, you have a
Okay,
Yeah,
sexual
you've been with
relationship.
that person for a while. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. That's fine. Well,
Even in talking
um,
stages, it's still a relationship to some
Yeah.
extent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Friendships are relationships. You are talking to someone, but it's complicated. A
Like in
situationship
modern
is
life,
still
have a relationship, you know.
okay,
a
okay.
relationship
I
with
get it.
your mom is a relationship. So
I
more
get your
like,
point.
I
I get
think
your
what
point.
you mean is a healthy sexual I mean healthy romantic relationship. I
Relationship.
think
No,
that's what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
that's not what I mean. What I mean is that I've not had the kind of relationship. I've not. Let me put it this way. I've not dated any girl until I dated my girlfriend, until I married her, who's my wife right now. That's what I mean.
So, so somebody is replying to you, Kwecho. They are saying
Yeah.
Situationship.
situationship is what?
Yeah, we should talk about that sometime. I got juice for you
So
people.
it's
Yeah,
okay. So you've had some situationships with some people. Okay.
I know, right? That should be the new word. Anyway,
Yeah.
so yes, and from what we've spoken about for a while now, growing up, I didn't want to have anything to do with an Ewe, right? An Ewes. But
But you're an Ewe.
surprisingly, I'm not an Ewe.
Okay. Which
You are
tribe are you?
And
Ashanti.
a lot of people get that wrong. In actual fact, growing up, I know my wife is watching this video and she's hearing me right now, and she knows what I'm saying. But growing up, I wanted to marry a white lady, right? In
You
Okay.
wanted to
quotes, but
marry a
in
white lady.
oh no, please hold
Yes.
on. In
You want
growing up,
some
I
You
wanted
want
cream in his
some cream.
cafe. His one is full cream milk
He wanted some full cream. I'm
oh
the
yeah,
in
cream
his coffee.
creamer. What? Coffee creamer.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I have a coffee creamer here. I can show you some. Anyway, it came right from London. It came right from London. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that growing up, I wanted to marry a white woman, right? But you get to a stage in your life where those things doesn't matter anymore. Because eventually, whether white or black or yellow or green or purple or whatever color it is a quality that the person possesses, that the person exhibits every day that you choose to stay on. At the end of the day, it's also the purpose that the person that drive the person that you choose to stay on every day.
Yeah.
For
Peppers,
example,
good.
example, for example, I wanted to open a restaurant, right? And I met my girlfriend. My girlfriend is a cook, and I'm like, okay, cool. We are a good partnership. Either I employ
Yeah.
you, yeah, either I employ you to be a chef in my restaurant, or we get married and you be the wife or the one managing your whole food business. How we get this is purpose. This is purpose, and I will choose purpose over religion. I will choose purpose over
Hmm.
culture. I will choose purpose over ethnic group or whatever they call it. I will choose purpose over tradition. I will choose purpose over everything else, or anytime, any day. You see, so for me and my wife actually, who is my first girlfriend, and I always say that everybody doesn't get it. Everybody thinks, hi. My wife is half Ewe because her mom is Ghana. Her mom is part Ghana and part Ikrapim. You see, so and even part North, right? And it's just around that area for me. But the point is that what made me chose my wife and continue to choose and decide to be with her has nothing to do with whether she's an Ewe or Fanti or Gan or anything. You see, it is the peace that sat in my heart the day I saw her and met her, started speaking to her. It is that peace that you see. It's not even about a reason that I'm with her. I don't have
Yeah.
any reason why I am with her. Trust me. I don't have any reason because somebody asked me that what has she done that I love her so much. And I said she hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
No, of course, what has she done? And even my wife, I talk to her every day. That it's not about sex. It's not about the food you cook for me. It's not about where you're coming from, but it's about that peace that has settled down in my heart that makes me to be with you. Because we fight, we quarrel, but we choose to still choose each other every day.
Is your wife
Yeah.
submissive?
So it is not, yeah, we fight, we quarrel all the time.
Would you consider your wife as being submissive? Because I'm surprised hearing you say this, because then I hear a lot from our African men how you don't have to show affection to your wife, okay, and how you are not the one to please your wife. So I'm actually surprised hearing you say, "Oh, you love your wife so much and you do anything to please her." So it gets me
Mm-hmm.
thinking: is your wife submissive? That she submit to you that makes you feel this way?
Yes, and please listen. There's a video I'll post on my
Submit
channel.
to you. So for you, what is submission? What does it
Submission
mean?
is
Because I don't
Exactly.
really understand what submission
Okay,
is.
okay. So please listen to me. Here's the thing. When I met my wife, right, my then girlfriend, when we started talking, the first thing she told me was that, baby, I'm willing and ready to learn. That means that makes the difference for me.
And
I
that
will
melted your heart.
I mean, I would choose somebody because for me, I've set myself up that I am an eternal student. I'm learning every day, and the more I learn, the more I become better, the more I grow. I would choose to learn over anything and every time, because I believe this strongly that a wise man will hear and increase learning. So I have to like increase learning
yeah.
almost every day. I have to be a student every day. You see, this was one of the things my wife told me that I want to learn. I want to grow. I want to change. That's what she told me, right?
She wants to
And
change.
and that gave me room to teach her basically everything that I've learned about relationship, about God, about money, about business, about literally everything.
Can I ask you a question? You said she said she wants to change. Did you make her feel that she was not enough or something that she wanted to change for you?
No, I didn't. I didn't. Surprisingly, I didn't do any of that at all. Surprisingly, she doesn't even know me. She didn't even know me much to even say that to me. She didn't know me at all because it was the second day, third day we started talking that she said this thing to me. You
Mm-hmm.
see, and then the thing you said about the African men, see, we have been corrupted, African men. We have been corrupted. You see, and because we have been corrupted,
Louder.
you see, a lot of African men have gotten some mentality that is, let me put it this way, it's devilish in their minds and they don't even know it. Okay, let me give you a very perfect example, right? This might be like breaking the code a bit, but I have this friend that he got
Code of
married to.
what?
Oh no, I'm just saying something, please. Code of secret.
The boy code.
Code
Me-
of
me-
secret. Not the boy code, but code of secret, right? I have this friend who
Oh, you mean
got
boy
married
code?
to. Oh, no boy code, but
Yeah.
code of secret. Code of secret. So
Okay.
this friend of mine is married to, let me put it this way, an European woman, a white lady. They're not in the country currently. When they got married, they moved out. They're in the woman's country right now. And I saw a dream about him, and I told him, Natalie, this is what I saw. You have to tread carefully. If you don't, you will be bounced back to your own country. And he told me that, Charlie, what I'm saying is true. Everything I've said in the dream, exactly what is happening to him right now. And I'm like,
Okay.
Chairman, you see, you need to understand that women are like this. They
Mm-hmm.
will show you all the attitude, but in actual fact, that is not what they are saying.
Yeah.
For example, I've come to understand that a woman might be saying this and that, but that's not what she wants. All
Of
she
course.
wants is for you to actually give her that hug and give her that kiss and tell her that maybe everything will be okay. But all she's doing, like she's some
That is
maga
true.
jabby
That's when you
like that.
become the protector, you know?
She's like some maga jabby like that. But you realize that at the end of the day, she has no, like, all the muscles she's raising is small. It doesn't even, like, when you touch it, it's very soft. But you see, many of the African men in their mind, I am the man, you must do this, you must do that, you must listen, you must. But you see, respect or submission doesn't mean that. you must be a doormat as a woman for a man to step on you. Please listen to this. And
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
have to learn this. I have to study this by myself and on my own. Okay. Just 2 days ago, my wife was reading a book and then she had questions and she asked me the question. And I told her to read Ephesians chapter 3. No, First Peter chapter 3. And First Peter chapter 3 talks about how women should submit to their own husbands. Okay. And then I decided that this is how I study the Bible. When I see somewhere that is subjection, I don't leave it there. I go and study what subjection is. And you'll be surprised that subjection simply means obey, just obedience.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that? The obedience is that I have told you, oh, baby, don't touch this water. It's hot. But in your mind, why shouldn't I touch it? Why should I do this? And you go and touch it. Now, a shiwa. Then you come to me and tell me that, oh, baby, the water heats. I told you not to go, but you went to do it anyway. I hope you get what I'm trying to say. And you'll be surprised that most of us grow up with that strong will that we want to do this, we want to be that, we want to do that. So we don't allow ourselves to learn the intricate things about relationship. Let me climax it on this conversation on what I'm saying. What I'm saying is a lot. If you leave me, I'll talk plenty. We won't leave here. Okay. one of the things one of the things I'm concluding on this thought with is that there is nothing like Mr. Right. There is nothing like Mrs. Right. But all of us must choose to be the right person. And all of us must choose to be right for each other. Okay? Please listen to this. One of the reasons I talk like this and I talk like this boldly is because if I say things like this, I'm committing myself. Imagine tomorrow something happens to me somewhere and somebody comes to say this about my wife. My wife be like, oh, my wife is in the house, or when he's like, he's advising them, telling them this, doing this, but we must be as real to ourselves as possible and stick to the things we say. How you get what I'm trying to say? So we
Mm-hmm.
must choose daily to be right for each other. And this is my last thought on why I say we must be right for each other. Because you realize that at the end of the day, the relationship is not about you at all. And when I say it's not about you, it's not about your selfish gain and your self-centeredness. So it's about the person you are with. But at the end of the day, even though it's not about you, it's about you. Do you know why? There's a simple principle that says that do unto others what you expect others to do unto you. So, for example, if I want to love you, Yvonne, if I want you, Yvonne, to love me, oh, listen, oh, calm down, calm down. If I want you, if I want you, Yvonne, to love me, I must love you first, right? But before I love you first, I must love myself first. That means that
That's very important. Yeah.
if I, for example, some people's love language is gift.
Yes, that's true.
There are some African men that they don't know this. So because they don't know it, when a woman is saying, buy me this, buy me that, they say, hey, you are very materialistic, you are very demanding.
Yeah.
And also because they are poor, they don't have money. So
That's the
Shots
thing.
fired.
It's because they are poor.
because they are poor and they don't have money.
It's
I
not
disagree
because
with
they
that. I
don't-
disagree with that. I know
No,
somebody who's rich,
let me
but
say,
he will not do it because
let
he's just.
me finish. When I say poor, I'm not talking about physical cash because poverty has nothing to do with
Mm-hmm.
cash or money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank
But
you.
poor here, you see, the kind of information that you have determines whether you are poor or rich.
I also disagree with that. There's nothing like somebody knows more than the other because I may know something that you don't know, and that makes me wiser than you, and you may know something that I don't know, and that makes you wiser than me. So I don't think we should say because some people don't want to buy gifts for their partners, they are poor here. I don't think we should say that, but
No, he's
it's
not
just
saying they
it's just
don't.
part of who they are.
That's what I'm
No,
saying.
it's
Though.
not just that they don't want to buy it, oh, but then they start classifying you, the other person, as hey, this Nipa will pescal, like because they
It's
don't
just who they are. It's
understand.
just part of their personality, and that's where how the person was raised comes to place. Because maybe they didn't grow up seeing their father buying their mother gifts, so they don't know how to do
Exactly.
it.
Exactly. So you
No,
see,
but
at
you
the
know,
end of the
that's
day,
where I have a problem. That's where I have a problem. You didn't see your dad buying your mother gifts, but then you're educated. You went to school. You learned a lot of things outside your home. So you not
Yeah,
seeing it in your house is
doesn't
not an
mean that.
excuse. I keep saying this all the time that African men want their wives to do 21st century things for them,
But
but
they
they
are
don't
not
want
ready
to
to
do
do that.
21st century things for their wives. And it's wrong. You want
Yeah.
in this modern era when school fees is expensive, rent is expensive. You want me
Mm-hmm.
to wake up, take care of 3 kids, take them to school, and come back, take care of you. Before I take care of myself, go to work, come back. I'm cooking in the kitchen here, reading newspaper. My dear, you don't want to eat.
I agree, but then you should also know that it takes time for somebody to come out of something that they grew up with. You understand? Like, see, maybe you are 35 years old man. You like that's all you know how your father treated your mom. That's why this is very important how you treat how you raise your kids at home, especially the men. That's all they saw. Father shouting at the mother, like that's all they know all their lives. So it's going to take a while for them to grow out of this. And it takes you, the woman, to show the man how you want to be treated. You
So
know,
whilst it's
you don't
taking
expect
them
him
a
to
that
know
is
long
what
everything.
time, whilst
that
it's
is what I
taking them
want
a
to
long
say.
time for them to grow out of it, why are they putting the pressure on us to grow
Because
out
we
of it
expect them to
quickly?
know it all. We have to teach them how we want to be treated. If I want gift, I have to tell you, hey babe, I want gift. If you buy me chocolate or if you buy me flower, it makes me happy. Then
And then they are
you're going
going
to
to
say
tag
that and
you a
say, okay, I'm
certain
going to do
way.
that for my woman. But if I expect you to know that I love chocolate and I love flowers, then we're not going anywhere. Then we're always going to have conflict because I would say, why not buying me flowers or chocolate or giving me a gift when I don't really know? You know what I'm saying?
You
We
see,
have
but
to.
that is what I'm saying, that doing unto others what you expect others to do unto you is very key. Okay. For example, I go out and I buy things, I bring things home to my wife and my little girl, not because they ask me, but
Mm-hmm.
because I know that showing affection is by doing that. And sometimes when I give it to my wife, she's surprised, me like, "Oh, thank you." You see, and that is an introduction to you that I'm doing it for you without expectation, right? But when my wife goes out and she also it's something called teaching. I've taught her something that this is what I'm doing for you, not because I'm doing it for you, but I'm doing it for me. Okay,
Mhm.
because eventually you also do it for me.
You also start doing it for me.
Exactly, because I've introduced you to it.
Yeah.
Would you say that? Would you say that if I keep getting my wife things when I'm coming back from work and all that, you say that when she goes out to town and she's coming, she'll definitely buy anything.
She
She'll
also
buy it.
find something to buy for
Mm-hmm.
you.
Because you're teaching
Exactly.
her how you want to be treated, also. You're nurturing
Yes,
her, you
all
know.
of that.
But
I
some
mean,
of us,
like,
we
like
don't do that. We expect people to know how we want to be
No.
treated. They are not magicians.
good, and I agree with you on that. Where a lot of people fault in that. A lot of people expect that you should know, but you see, the thing
Mm-hmm.
is that until you communicate it, you don't know. And even
Mm-hmm.
to me, I've told my wife several times that if you are doing I don't know how you are feeling, and I don't want to ask. No, no, exactly. I don't want to even assume.
No, in the bedroom or where?
We don't want to know that. That's
Or in the
TMI. We don't
kitchen.
want to know that.
And like I tell her that I
So
don't
you
want to
want her to
assume.
say like, "Oh baby, I like it." Oh baby, I love it.
Yvonne,
Okay,
that's
sorry.
TMI. We don't
Please
want to know
continue.
that. It's TMI.
And when that happens, like, oh, my leg. I don't know exactly how you are feeling. And I don't want to assume that I know what you are feeling or you are going through if you don't tell
Mm-hmm.
me that this is what you are going through.
That's
You see?
true.
So the whole thing about the whole relationship is that let us choose, for example, the word submission, which I believe a lot of people have gotten it wrong, is that the word submission means to esteem the other person over you, right? To esteem the person over you, which means that I must choose you over me, but not so much over me.
Yeah.
Your
Mm-hmm.
your concern must be my concern, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your interest must be my interest. You see, but how do I begin to let your interest be my interest? What's me myself? I don't even know my interest. What's me myself? I'm not even interested in my own interest. I hope you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I
So
think you're so
that is
right.
where
You're right.
the whole thing starts from. It starts from us ourselves, and we need to know that the relationship is not about us. When we know that it's not about us, but it's about the person, then we realize that even tradition or tribe doesn't even play any role at all. Because you'll be surprised that when you marry, charisma, I don't know if you are married, or when you realize that when you marry, I love you doesn't work. Oh. It doesn't do it.
That's very true. It doesn't really work. No, it's a
You,
way
you
to
realize
put
that
into it.
you realize that when you're married, if you don't make it an effort to be having sex often, you will cheat right now. If you don't
That's
make it an
true.
effort to be putting your wife or your husband into that place where you have sex and you do those things, you will cheat right now. Try
Can
it
I
and
ask you a
see.
question? Why is sex so important for the African man? Because dating outside your race, right? So, because the African man thinks like sex is all there is to being intimate with my wife, but dating outside your race, it's not
It's
every
not
day that
sex.
you have sex.
Yeah.
Of course, they enjoy sex, but then they have other ways to make you feel connected, make you feel intimate with them. But why is sex so much important for the African man?
Well, I think sex is not just so important for the African man. It's important for every man. It's important for every man because, for example, give it a survey in the US, you realize that sex is so rampant.
It is, but they have other ways for intimacy.
Uh-huh.
You don't have
Yes,
to
yes,
have
I get
sex
that.
with your
I
husband
get that.
every day, 24 hours, 7 days a week
But
to
even
be
that,
intimate
the,
or
the,
not to
the,
for you
the,
not to cheat.
Do you know
but
what
even
beats
that,
Because you're
me?
making an
charisma
excuse here that
section,
if you're not getting enough sex from your wife or your partner, you're going
And
to
that's
cheat,
why
which is
you're
wrong.
wanting.
There's so many ways to feel connected, to bond with your partner.
no,
What
not
beats
really
me is
that.
the way
Okay,
African
so,
men
so,
react at the mention
so
of sex
Kinky
toys.
wants to say something. Let's have it say it.
Yes.
Kinky, what are you saying?
What beats me is the way African men react at the mention of sex toys.
Oh yes. It's like they don't want to hear it at
Yeah.
all.
And
They
I
don't
feel
want
like
to.
it's just an issue with their ego. That they are like,
Yeah.
am I not enough? Am I not enough?
I
I'm the
know,
man of the
right?
house.
And I'm
I'm the
like,
man
no,
of the
no.
house. I have to do as I please.
King Kelly, I hope I pronounced it well, but you see, please listen to me. Please listen to me. Sex, from what I've studied, is that sex is a need for men. It's more like food for men. Okay, it's like I'm hungry and I'm so yearning for jollof, right? If I don't get the jollof to eat, it has something doing to my heart. How big you I'm trying to say? Good.
mhm.
I feel so much for banku. If I don't get the banku and that okra to eat, it does something to my heart. Okay, it's not that sex toys and all of those things. I honestly don't really. It's not because of my ego or anything, but I honestly don't really agree to sex toys. Please let me tell you why. This is my understanding. This is my understanding. You see, there's something called masturbation. Okay, you will never know the effect it's having on you, your marriage, your wife, and yourself until you start masturbating when you're married. Or when before you marry, if you masturbate a lot and then you marry, you never know the effect, the implications you get until you marry. You realize that you don't know your corner, and then you realize that anytime there's a need to have sex, you do it too. But human beings no end no. Karima, I hope you understand what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Of course,
I
yeah.
disagree
Of
with
course.
that
Hey,
though.
I'm a proud
Okay,
Ghanaian.
please listen. Please listen.
Eastern
Please
flowers.
listen. Please listen. Please listen. How would you feel if you're going to have sex with your husband, right? And then
Mhm.
he masturbates? How would you feel?
Well, I'll feel bad and
Masturbation
I'll
is
very
different
upset
from
with you.
having
I'll be very
sex.
upset with you.
I
I think
know, I
the
know that.
better question is, wouldn't it be better for a husband to masturbate than him to go outside? Because in my part of the world, that seems to be the norm. And what kind
Yeah.
of disgusts me like to the max is that it's becoming a norm such that even the young guys are saying that, like, me, if I get married and my wife doesn't, I'll go out.
I'll go
And we
outside.
are men.
Yes, you
That's
hear
what
that a
we do.
lot. You hear
My
that a
father
lot.
did it. Hey. So to me, I feel like to some extent, African men do need to consider that to an extent. Like,
That is
oh,
if
like,
your wife is
I don't
not available.
fully. Then I feel like it's time African responsibility for their actions. Stop trying using silly things like justify it. Because I feel like
Okay,
you stood before God and your
Hold on,
wife
hold on.
to make a covenant, right? So if you know you're not going to honor it, why then do you go and make that
listen,
covenant and then go ahead and break it, break someone's child spirit, and make a silly excuse for that, and then you are so justified within yourself that you even go out bragging about it, not considering how you're making your wife or the next person feel. When I hear things like this, I'm not married, but honestly, it doesn't really make me want to
Yeah,
get married,
want
because
to marry,
I'm
of
like,
Phoebe,
there are a
course.
lot of
Phoebe,
really
Phoebe,
miserable women like out there who are married. I
That's
get
Phoebe,
it in a part of the world where it's like, oh, when you're married, your level has changed, people respect you and all of that. But honestly, I don't want to have that kind of respect if I'm going to be miserable. Like,
yeah, that's
Phoebe.
true.
honestly. So I feel like if it is
But so let
sex
me
you want, that you don't feel like you want to get from your wife, then maybe you might want to consider sex toys. At least sex toys
exactly,
is not going to bring me a
exactly.
bastard
Yeah,
child.
that's what I was trying to say that Petrol. When you say masturbation is giving you sexual pleasures, but I feel like in the absence of you getting the actual thing. So if you're with your wife and she's not available or she's out for a period and you really have the urge to have sex and you masturbate, I'm not going to see that as a problem with my husband. But then if I'm with you on the bed and you want sex, that is why I'm there. So what would be the need
Yeah,
for you
it
to
has,
masturbate whilst
Mm-hmm.
I'm with you there? Then there's no need for
you
you
see,
to masturbate. But you only need to masturbate when the person is not out. I think most of this masturbation issue has to be with um Christianity, religion, right? It has to be with religion because we are taught is a demonic something, is that. But what if your husband or your wife is not around for how many months or whatever? What do you do to satisfy yourself? There's phone sex, there's all these things, but we Africans do not do that because we've been so taught based on religion that it's a bad thing. Everything is a bad thing if you overdo it. If you do sex to, if your wife is with you and you're having sex with her 3 times daily throughout the week, that is bad. That is bad for your marriage. That is
why do
bad
you
for
why
your
do you say
health.
it's bad? Why do you say it's bad?
So much
It's
of
bad for your
everything is
health. You
bad.
cannot be having sex
No,
that much, like in a
She's
day
tired.
or in a week.
Wa bre, the thing,
please listen.
wa bre.
Please
Yeah,
listen.
it's
Please
bad
listen.
because
Please,
it
please
has an
listen.
Ele
effect on your
fatigue.
health.
Please listen.
So
Please listen. Please listen. Please listen. Yvonne, when
I'm
you just said
listening.
that too much of sex has effect on your health, what do you mean? Where did you get that information from?
That's why they
She's
are
tired.
sex addicts. That is why they are sex addicts. What are sex
No,
addicts?
no,
Sex addicts are
dude,
people who have too many sex and they get addicted to that. You
no,
cannot get
Yvonne.
addicted
You
to
see, the
something
whole
that you
concept.
don't do very often. So the fact that
Okay,
you're
Yvonne.
doing it too often, that is how come you get addicted to it. And it is
No,
bad for your health. I
okay,
know
Yeah,
we are
because
Yvonne.
if
If
you're
you
doing
affected
it
by
too
that.
often and then your wife is on a business trip or something, then you'll be tempted to go and cheat because for you, you're used to having sex 3 times a day and now she's not there, you're not getting
Yeah.
some. So then you'll be tempted to, oh my gosh, let me
no,
go out there
no,
and cheat.
no. You see, surprisingly, our women have gotten it wrong, and I will say this every day, not a time.
Why do you say
Our women,
that?
our women have gotten the whole degree of sex wrongly for a long time. Well, I just got married, okay, but let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. You see, the experience of masturbation, Yvonne, and let me put it this way. This is how I see things, okay? Nothing is then I know things are bad. I know things are evil, things are demonic, but there are things I don't consider as factor. Okay. Here's why.
Okay.
Everything is good for everybody, but you must know what is right for you to do or not do. I hope you get where I'm coming from. All right.
Okay.
Let's say everybody is going here. It's good for them. That's why they are going there. But for me, I feel like this is right for me. So let me actually go here. That is the thing for
That
me.
makes
Okay.
sense. Yeah.
So that is the thing for me. And please listen. Masturbation for a man, I would say that don't even start it in the first place. You see,
Okay.
when you're talking about addiction, having sex with your wife several times will play no role in you becoming addicted. Let me say why. It is having multiple sex with other people that makes you addicted. With your wife, there's
But
no
I'm not classifying it just with your wife. I'm saying that having too much sex is also
you
bad for
see,
the pets because you said masturbation is bad. You didn't say masturbation in a marriage or
I didn't
masturbation.
okay, I didn't put it like it is bad in general. I didn't put it like that. I said that you see, don't even start to masturbate in the first place. Okay.
Because
Reason
you
is
think
that
it's bad
yes, I believe it's bad. Not that I think it's bad.
in
I believe it's
general.
bad in general because of
Uh-huh.
where it puts you, whether you're a man or a woman. Okay.
Okay.
You have no idea how you can be addicted to masturbation. And that's what I'm saying that it has an
But you
effect
can be
on your
addicted to anything. It doesn't have to be just masturbation. That is my
that
point. You can be
that,
addicted to sex.
that's what I'm
So
saying.
if
That's
you're
what I'm saying.
saying that don't start masturbation in the first place, then you must as well say don't start sex in the first place because you have no
No,
idea
no.
how
I am saying
addicted you are going to be with sex. But you
I am
cannot
saying that
single one thing out because at the end of the day, they are all giving you sexual pleasures, whether it's through penetration or you giving it to yourself. The bottom line is you're getting sexual pleasures at the end of the day. So if one part is not good, then the other one is equally not good. You cannot single one out of the lot.
I get you. But
Okay.
what I'm saying is that with your wife, okay, so let me give you a very perfect example, okay? And I'll use the Bible, all right? There's a verse in the Bible that says that we should give to each other due benevolence. That is
So it's more
the
biblical than um
than
sexual.
physical.
So
No. What I mean is that sex with your wife is more serious than it's supposed to. That like the way everybody sees it. Okay. In essence, well, this is what I know and believe because I wouldn't say I'm a Christian or I'm a spiritual person. I am a child of God and I follow exactly what the word of God says to me. Okay. You
okay.
see, the point is this. If you read the Bible, God actually endorses that we should have sex and have it continuously. For like, if you are doing it morning, evening, afternoon, in the day, even if you are doing it 10 times in a day, God says, go ahead and do it. Okay. And here is
Okay.
why God will say that. Because God says that if you don't end up doing it, what you are doing is that you are defrauding each other. And in defrauding each other, it will cause your partner to sin. And that sin is to do the cheating that today and tomorrow we will say too much of sex is bad, too much of this is bad. I hope you get where I'm coming from. So
Okay.
God wants us to do it as a husband and the wife.
Okay.
And if we don't allow ourselves to do it, we'll go and cheat. Listen,
Okay.
God doesn't want us to do that. That is why He wants us to do it more. I think the problem is that, let me give you a very perfect example. Um, you, Yvonne, do you drink petrol?
Because I'll die when I drink petrol. I
Exactly.
think.
And let me give you let me give you the example with
I don't know for
sex.
sure, but I think I will die
No,
when I drink
no,
it.
hold on. Let me give you the example with sex and men. Okay, sex and men is like a car and then a petrol.
Well, we have
Anytime.
we have 1 minute to wrap up.
Okay,
So
so So sex for men is like car and petrol. Okay, if you give a
Okay.
car petrol, what does the car do? The car is able to move, right? It's able to work. It's able to transport you from one end to another. Okay. Imagine what happens when you, the woman, you don't know anything about sex, you don't know anything about even why you don't like sex. You woman, you don't like sex. But I hear some women they really love sex. So I beg,
Okay.
I stand to be
There are so
corrected on
many determining factors
No, we're not
to that.
saying women shouldn't have sex with your husband. We're saying that sometimes the men are too demanding. You know, they make it all about sex. They don't try to be creative, you know, and try to okay, why it's not always we're not always going to have sex, but we can do other things
Yeah.
to make us feel connected and bonded.
I'm on
So
top. I'm
even if
on top.
you are not around, we can still do these things remotely, you know,
Thank
so as
you.
to stop us from cheating. Like you said, if the man is not getting sex from the partner, he goes out to cheat. Why should that be the case?
You see, and you see
And
the
me
thing we're talking
also
about,
talking
the
about
thing we're
sex
talking
toys.
about is more communication based.
No, because
But
in the what's the name of the women group in the churches? I don't know about Ghana, but here in the women in the churches, the African church, they're teaching the women to use sex toys when their husbands are not around. But are they
Yeah.
teaching that to the men? They are
Yeah.
not because
Because
they
I
feel like
feel
the
like
men
that is
can go out
more
there to cheat,
safer.
to sleep with other women.
That is more
Exactly.
safer on the marriage than you, because I'm thinking about it. What fun, like the fun it will
Mm-hmm.
be to have my husband not around, call. Now there's video call. You can video call, and do all these,
Sex
like
fun,
freaky things.
You can
And then,
FaceTime with some
yeah, there's
lingerie.
text. You
Oh
can
my
text,
god.
you can call, phone sex, and
you
all
can do
these
a
things.
virtual
And you can
massage.
actually, yeah, you can actually feel the presence of your partner or your husband
Exactly.
with you,
you
instead
And not
of
give
even
you
like
you
driving
spicing it
yourself.
up, like
You
spice
know
up
very
your
well that you really
relationship.
want to have sex, but then
Mm-hmm.
your religion is saying you cannot do any other thing apart from your husband penetrating inside you, so
Exactly.
you have this urge to really have sex, and then you find yourself going outside of your marriage to have sex because you've been told that apart from actual penetration there's nothing else, anything else you do is a sin or whatever, and it's going to do this or do that or do
You're
that.
going to
But
hell.
the point here is, would you rather have your wife use sex toys when you're not around, or would you rather have her cheat or deprive her completely of having any sexual um
Relationship.
enjoyment?
Yeah.
Which one would you prefer for your wife? I would prefer my
Hold
husband
on.
to masturbate 60 times a day than to go out there and sleep with another woman, because I will be on the phone with you whilst you're masturbating and be enjoying myself also. Anyway,
Actually, all sex, all sin be seen. Oh, you
Yeah.
masturbate. Oh, you go out. Oh, you do
no, but I
what you
think
watch
masturbate.
porn. Oh,
I don't
you do
remember,
all of it. All sin be seen.
but I
And the
think
Bible says no sin is greater
in
than the other.
masturbation in the marriage is actually something that I think will be healthier than having the partner move outside of the home. I think most of the times, all these things that they say in biblical terms is not really because the thing is
Masturbation is not
bad.
even mentioned in the Bible, is it? Somebody should
I
educate
think I
me.
think I think it's
Is
No,
it?
mostly
masturbation is
because,
mentioned in the Bible,
hold
but
on,
the
I think
context may be different.
mostly they
Okay.
do that because as human beings, when you give freedom to people, they tend to abuse the freedom, right? Because I have three pastors in my home, so they'll tell you that it's not really because it's a sin, but it's because, or it's a sin to a certain level, but then for the individual to determine at which level does it cross to be a sin is the problem. So in order not to have that individual struggle with whatever, you just tell them you don't do this. It's not because it's bad, it's because when you give the freedom to the person, they tend to abuse it. Same thing with alcohol consumption and with this masturbation. I have had conversations with one of my uncles who is a pastor, and he said it is not a bad thing in a marriage because it helps to sustain you when any of the partners are not around. But if you tell the youth that, oh, there's nothing wrong with masturbation, and then as a 12-year-old he starts masturbating and feeling like, oh, then I don't need to have, I don't need to marry and have sex, because we are taught you have to have sex after marriage. But if I can have, I can masturbate and feel okay, then I don't need to do all these things. So it's not because it's a bad thing. It's just because as society or as human beings, when you give us the freedom to do one thing, we overdo it. So they tell you that, wait, when you get married, do you really think marriage, your friends saying sex before marriage is bad? It's not. But as human beings, they'll tell you the man will not want to marry you because you've had sex with him. So it's not the sex that is a bad thing, no, but it is whatever will come
But I think sex
after
before
that.
marriage is somehow bad because it's not sacred. The
Yeah,
Bible makes
maybe.
sex
Yeah.
sacred in marriage, so I think sex before marriage is in a way bad.
It's a way bad, yeah. But what I'm trying to say, some of the excuses they will give you is, why would you give the person the milk, or the cow or whatever? If Why would they buy the cow if they already have the milk,
The milk.
right?
But I
Uh-huh.
can get beef
So
after.
You girls are so crazy. Seriously.
I know, right? Or you won't get the milk all the time. So at some point you still have to buy the cow and
Yeah.
then milk it out. But then that's my point. I really
Let me
don't
get
think
relate.
that masturbation is a bad thing when it comes to marriage, because at some point you are not going to, please, people move out for work and all these, they travel a year. So are you trying to tell me that my wife or my husband should just be there for a whole year without
Firewood.
sex, when you are
No,
telling me that I can have,
that's
so if I've
impossible for the
had
man of
multiple
today.
sex,
That's impossible.
yeah, if I've had multiple sex with my husband
Mhm.
at the start of our marriage, like 5 times a day for like a year continuous, and then he's no longer around for like 6 months, are you trying to tell me that I will just be there? That's no way. I would rather
But
masturbate and go to
firewood.
You
hell.
have to get creative in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
anyway.
what,
I
Yvonne,
think
Yvonne,
yes. Last point. Then we'll move on. Oh, she went off. Sorry, I wanted us to wrap up because it's almost like 2 hours. That's what happens on live. You always never end within a set time. Um,
Yvonne, the thing is that for the whole thing about masturbation, it has its own serious consequences at the end of the day. See, that's what I'm just trying to
on what?
communicate.
On what? Consequences on
When
what?
when you are married and you do that, it has its own implications that
hello.
you would have wished that you
Yeah,
never started
Kiki.
this.
Yeah, please
You
make your
see?
Yeah, can
points
you
and
guys hear
let's
me now?
let's try to wrap up.
Yeah, we can hear
Okay,
you. So
so
what I'm saying,
when I mentioned sex toys initially, I didn't mean like one person using it. I think I haven't used one before, but I think from
Are
what I
you
read and stuff.
sure?
No, I actually haven't.
Please.
I haven't. Um I think I've heard and I've read that couples use sex toys to spice things up. So I heard there are things called
Yeah.
vibrators that husbands can use on their wives. And I heard there are
Mhm.
vibrators that men also use. I don't know where they're going to put it, and none of my business.
On the
But yeah,
balls.
so I don't really mean that like it's for like just like pleasuring yourself
Did they
and
get me?
like all of that. You get what I mean? So yeah, it doesn't really have to be one person thing. And like you were saying something like the Bible, God has commissioned you to have sex. Okay, since you are going to have sex, you said that like if you don't have it, you are defrauding yourself. Okay. Yes, but then the Bible also says that I think in the book of one of the books that Paul wrote, I'm not really a pastor like that, but like I remember there was one that Paul was saying that I entreat you all to stay away from any form of sexual immorality. So masturbation is a sin if you're not married, but so like if one was saying once you are
Yeah.
married, I think you've been given the certificate to explore. If you
Exactly.
want to
Me,
go and
I
swing on
always
a
say
tree
that.
and do it, so you want to go into the river and do it, too. You want to use sticks and firewood. You're on your own.
honestly, that is what
That's
I
what
feel.
I
I
think.
feel like once you are married, whatever you do in your sex room is up to the two of you, because you come to an understanding
I
that
agree.
I want you to do it inside here. It's up to
I
the two of
agree.
you.
I
I
agree.
want you to do it inside here. It is the two of you
Exactly.
who, that there's no there is no clarification on what to do in your marital bed in the Bible or in anywhere. There's no rules for how to have sex, what position you should do. There's nothing like that. All when you come to biblical whatever, all that the Bible will tell you is don't do this before marriage. It never talks about in marriage. Make sure that your wife is sleeping in missionary position before you come on top of her, or make sure that your D is hard before you put it in. It doesn't say anything when it comes
You
to your
Yvonne, how
sexual
do
life.
you know it's
So,
supposed to be hard first?
so I feel like it is up to the two
Love
of
the thing.
you who
How do
decide
you know?
what you want to
She's
do
been
in
Love,
your
practicing.
she loves it.
in your bedroom. Like once I'm married, no pastor is coming to tell me what I should do in my sexual corner. Like you cannot come and tell me masturbation is bad when I'm married and my heart like I wait, what, I'm not coming to tell you that I masturbated. I'm not coming to tell
Some
you that. I'm
husbands
not
even
coming to tell
enjoy
No.
you
their wives do
what.
that and pleasure themselves.
Yeah.
Apparently, I heard.
So I think it's up to you, the individual, and up to you, the couples, what you want to do in your sex life. Anyway, we've deviated completely
You
from
know,
the topic of discussion, but that
and
is
it's not
still this
my
is still
fault.
an yeah, it's a live show. That's how it always is. You never stay on track. You always deviate, and you never stay within your time. Also, so the next topic I wanted us to talk about is not topic the oh I have
Subject.
two more, but let's wrap up with this. Oh, how can somebody who is facing um, a tribal issue when it comes to marriage, what are some of the steps the person can take to um, to conquer that situation? What are some of the steps, or how does somebody who is facing parents not accepting a certain tribe, how do they go about that issue? How can they solve that problem? Charisma, let me start with
I
you.
think. I think it comes down to the both of you, what you want. If I'm happy with the person and I feel like that is my soulmate, then I have to find a way to talk to my parents to make them see why it is important for me to be with this person. At the end of the day, every parent would want their child to be happy. You know, it all comes down to the narrative, the story, how you present the person to your family. And sometimes we are the cause of it, because sometimes when we start a
Yep.
relationship, we go to our parents and then we start telling them bad stuff about the
All the
person.
bad
So then
things.
when we want to finally settle down with the person, then we tell our parents says, oh no, you can't be with this person because you've told me this and this about
This
them,
and that. Yeah.
which is wrong. So then we have to also learn to keep what happens in a relationship, and then learn to communicate well to solving all our problems in order to avoid any external influences, because you get that a lot when you're dating an African. There are always some sort of
Oh my
interferences
God.
from outsiders interfere in your relationship, which at the end of the day kills the relationship, right? So you have to learn to communicate well. You have to keep your business in a relationship in your business, and learn to talk to your parents in a way that will get them to understand that this is the right
This is
person
the
for me.
person that.
Because at the end of the day, again, you're the one in a relationship. You know how it feels like. You know how the person makes you feel.
Quite sure. What's your input?
So once again, marrying somebody that your parents are disallowing can be very troubling. Can be very
Mm-hmm.
negative.
That's very true.
But one of the things I've come to understand is that marrying someone is more of an honor to your parents. And just like Charisma said, many times uh, our parents expect some level of maturity from us to endorse the things that we do. So if for any reason you're marrying a woman that your parent doesn't accept, whether by tribe or not, and also it's from the home you are coming from. It's not automatically that because you are an Ewe or you are a Santi, your parents won't accept the the marriage. I know a family that is married and the husband is Muslim, but the mother is a Christian, and they are married. They raise their children very well. That the children are not divided whether I'm a Muslim or I'm a Christian or I'm a blah
Yeah.
blah. You see, like I said, we must all be informed, and once we are informed, we won't be able to prohibit anybody from doing what they have to do. That for them, they know is right. You see, the problem is that I think that many of the reasons that these parents disallow these things is that your mother or your father is not seeing any sign of maturity in you, first of all, because
Yeah.
you don't marry, you don't choose to marry and come back complaining. You choose to marry and stay and solve issues. You need to understand that you fight, you quarrel. And when these things come up, you don't go and be preaching it to your pastor,
Yeah.
your pastor's wife, your mother-in-law. Even they themselves, they tell you that when you marry, you don't bring your troubles to us. Sit down at night or at dawn, talk to your wife about it, solve your issues. But you see, many people are afraid to commit. Many people are not in committed thoughts to commit to these things. So until we get people who are committed to commit to their relationships and their marriages, I think it will go well. And until we get people who are well informed about their relationships and their marriages, I think it will go well. And until we get people who will stay and fix things, it will go well. I saw a quote recently
Not abusive relationships though, because
that people
that can be very tricky. You know, this kind of advice is
I think
really
let me finish.
tricky.
I think let me finish so that we don't end up deviating again from the subject.
No,
Okay.
no, no. We are not going to deviate.
You see,
But
you
that
see,
that particular advice is
you
really
see,
tricky because
yeah, you see,
it
Yvonne,
can. But you
you see,
finish.
the whole point is that we are not children. We are not children to know that I'm in a relationship with this girl or this boy, and you can't sense. Even if you can't sense, you can't smell that this guy can be an abusive person at the end. We are not children. And these are some of the things that our parents may see that we won't see, and this is why they allow this from happening. I hope you get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's very
And
true though.
and the mistake that we all make is that, oh, he will change, oh, she will change. No, if he doesn't change when you are dating her or you're in a relationship with her, forget about it. That marriage is not the answer to that question. How big you are, so we are not
Yeah.
children. That is why I didn't even add the abusive thing to it. I'm saying this to mature people. You're not
Okay.
children to say that there's a red flag and you are closing blind eyes to it. And when we're near, don't come back and complain. How big what I mean? So until we get
Yeah.
men and women who are well informed, until we get men and women who are willing to commit and stay to it, and I conclude on this. Everything will be fine when we decide to love without expectation. When we decide to commit to each other's needs without expectation, and that is what love is. To value each other anytime, any day. That's what love is.
So if somebody is facing their parents not accepting them marrying another race or tribe, what advice would you give to the person?
The first advice would be, I believe in this. You pray about it. That's my first advice. Pray about it. I won't take that out. Pray about the situation. Aside praying about the situation, you should be able to, second point, you should be able to man up or woman up and sit down and have a conversation with your parents. That daddy, mommy, why are you not allowing this? I want to know why.
Yeah.
Tell me why, and then I'll tell you my whys. If my wife doesn't go with what your whys, what alternative or what agreement can we come to? If we are able to come to that agreement or conclusion, and we know whether what you are saying is right or is wrong. What you're saying is, Charlie, the way forward to go about it. How you get my point?
Yeah.
If anything doesn't tally, because listen, to start a relationship with somebody and at the end of the day they say they won't agree, then it's a whole lot of investment that you would have wished not starting.
Yeah.
A whole lot of Charlie, school you would have wished you didn't go. You see,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to get these things clear. You see, that I keep saying that we ourselves we must be right with ourselves first before we start any of these.
Yeah.
So the first key thing is to pray. Secondly, is to speak to your parents about it and tell them raw and natural how we feel about every situation. Tell them as natural as it is. Don't go and beat about the bush.
Yeah.
Oh, that is because I love it, because I do this. Parents will slap you before you realize that, hey, oh Jimmy, that Jimmy, you know that kind of thing. Say it as raw as it is, and they would
Okay.
understand.
Okay. I hope so. Kinky Kelly. So what I was asking is, what advice would you give somebody who is facing tribal issues in regards to their relationship or moving forward into marriage from family members, parents, and other stakeholders? How would you
Okay.
advise them to go about it?
Okay. So I totally agree with what Kwechu said. But the only thing I will add is when it happened to me, I actually spoke to my mom about it. Okay. And what she told me is that I should leave the relationship. I didn't tell her it was me because I didn't want them to know that I was
Yeah.
dating and it would be my business. I just like, oh, mommy, my friend, the friends have suffered. Anyway, so she told me that I should leave the relationship. And she told me that this is why. And I feel like as Africans, it's important for our parents to learn to tell us why they are saying
Mhm.
certain things, because then we can, reason with them and have an understanding, or choose to
Yeah.
understand them and to go about what we want to do, anyway. So she told me that this is why I'm telling you to leave the relationship. If you go ahead with that relationship where you have the mother or the father, or even in like worst
Both
cases,
of them.
both, um
Yeah.
not agreeing, if you go into the marriage and something happens, don't forget, in Africa, when you marry the whole family of the
The whole
person.
family. Yeah.
So you're leaving your family to go into someone's family. So
Yeah.
if they don't have a clean heart towards you, if they don't love you as their own, you will be miserable.
That's true.
So that's my mom's reason. So she's like, if the relationship hasn't got,
That
so
far.
far that you know that you've not really invested so much, then it's better it ends now. And I also feel that it's really important that when you are going to date someone outside your tribe, ask the necessary questions.
Mm-hmm.
Ask your parents, because you've stayed with your parents for 20 something
You
years of your
know.
life.
Yeah.
Why won't you know that this is how my parents feel about something?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
people say this,
That's
when
true.
someone shows you who they are,
Believe
believe
it.
them. Believe them. It's not, I can change him, I love him so much. No, you're not Jesus. You're not the author and the finisher of their faith. It's true, you can't change them. So
Yeah.
if they show you who they are, believe it and be smart about it. And also, I always say this, that a
Yeah,
broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. A
Mm-hmm.
broken relationship is
Yeah.
better than.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
me personally, even if I've stayed with you for 20 how many years and I'm an old lady
I would
and
leave.
I want to marry you and they say no, and I know that I'll not be happy, let me go and find another old man and date. I cannot come and keep myself. You
Okay,
see,
said
so
they say no.
it's
So you
important to
feel like
be intentional. When Kwechu was saying, he was saying something about two people making the decision that they want to be good to each other. But then you have to be intentional about how you treat people. The
Yeah.
moment you start being intentional about what you do, what you say, how you act, a lot of things will change, in your life. So when you are going to into a relationship with someone, ask them, how does your parents feel about my people?
About this
Are
tribe.
they okay? Are they this? Are they that? And if possible, a few months into the relationship or a year or two, meet with the person's parents.
Yeah.
Me when it happened to me, my partner's mother had not even met me. So it's not like she met me and she's like, hey, you are rude or this. You didn't, she hadn't met me, but she just assumed that like, oh, all these people are like this.
I
And
like
later
this.
when she
Yeah.
met me, when she actually met me later on, I think she was sick and then I went to visit her, like to just check up on her and stuff. She didn't know that I was the airway girl that was eating. But then at the end of the day, you just show people love because you show people love. It's not because
Yeah.
you want to gain something from them or you have an ulterior motive or something. So if you know you're in a situation that's not good for you, remove yourself from the situation for your own peace of mind. If not, heart attack will kill you there. Thank you in advance.
But should we always say no to our partners just to please our parents? I don't know.
Exactly. That
I
was
don't
what I was
understand
going to
that because
ask.
we are the one going to be married to the person. So why should we just decide not to be with somebody because my mother or my father says no?
Yeah.
And I feel like
Yeah.
sometimes
So
our parents just judge the characters of the people that we're dating from afar. You can't just
Exactly.
look at how somebody is talking or walking and say they don't respect or they won't be good for you or they're not a
Yeah.
provider. You can't do that. So I feel like the parents, when it comes to maybe settling down, maybe aside from the fact that maybe they will do some sort of family background check and then they will find a thing or two, okay, that doesn't sit well with the family. If it has to do with something like the person's behavior or character based on what they've observed from afar, then I feel like they shouldn't really
I, I
bother
I
about it,
completely
you know?
agree with that because I also have that thing like it depends on the reason that my parents are giving me. And
Yes.
my mom, she knows. Like, you have to give me something more than what I'm thinking. Don't come
Mm-hmm.
to me with the mentality that, oh, he's an Ewe. We don't marry Ewe people. And then you
Mm-hmm.
expect me to just I've told my mother that if they stress me like this, I will hire people. I was having a conversation today with a friend who was having similar challenges. I thought if you stress me like this, I will go and hire mother and another father, go to the court, go and sign and get
My
married
cousin did the same thing.
yeah,
Because my cousin is
and
married to an Ewe guy.
yeah,
And then when she introduced the guy to the father was like, no, I'm not going to allow my daughter to be with any Ewe. So what she did was she went to hire somebody to represent
thank
her
you.
as a father. And she's now happily married, living with her husband and her kids.
Yeah.
And
So I
she's
You
think
know,
happy.
it depends
can I add
on
something to this? Can I add something to this? You see, the point is that all that you are saying about charisma, I agree with you that should we leave our partners because our parents disagree with it?
don't yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just yesterday I chanced on this sentence that says that you will hear a lot of people say, if your boyfriend or your husband is doing this, leave it. If your girlfriend or your husband is doing this, leave it. But
Mm-hmm.
seldom would you see the youth say that, giving themselves to the fact that there is an issue. Let's work on it. Let's sit down.
Exactly.
You see, like I'm saying, we are not children. We are not growing any younger. We are growing to be responsible people.
Mhm.
And one of the things is that, well, I've had a story being told me of a girl who is leaving a guy. I know the guy, and this guy be correct guy. Like I know the guy be correct guy. Actually, if you know somebody, you can tell who the guy be correct guy. But you see, this girl is leaving this correct guy for whichever guy she's going to be with. I'm not saying the guy is not correct, but I don't know which other guy she's going to be because her dad says
One is corrector.
her dad says her
He
dad
doesn't
says
like
her dad says no to this Ashanti guy, right? And because her dad said no to this guy, um, it's costing my friend because eventually he has ended up falling in love with you. Okay, but the point I'm trying to make is that I always say this that when you are leaving somebody, it's the same thing to choosing somebody. Okay, when you are leaving somebody, it's either you are losing a value, and when you are losing that value, you don't look.
mhm.
Is a looking back that some of the parents might see and they will say,
Yeah.
don't go and do this. It's the same way if you are choosing to be with somebody, it's a decision that requires you to be so committed, so dedicated, so whatever it is to make sure it works. Not because it's going to be abusive. Let's take that thought
Yeah.
over my head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It must work for you that you won't look back. You won't come back to say, "Daddy, my way, daddy, my
But
way."
there's
No.
nothing wrong with. I don't also think that. I think that is also one reason why people would rather not be with their partners when their parents says no, because the stigma attached to, oh, if I go and then, God forbid something happens and I have to come back
It
home,
is fear.
and then
It
the
is fear.
parents are like,
Simply
oh, I
fear.
told you so. So once my parents are like, we don't want it, then I'm not going with it. But I don't see anything. Your parents can love this man and you will still go into that marriage and you would have to come back home because it's not working for you. The fact that your
Exactly.
parents love this person so much doesn't mean that they are going to be a good partner for you. It's up to you. And things
Yvonne, please
happen.
check the
People
comments.
change.
Please check the comments.
People change. So a good person can eventually, based on whatever reason, become maybe not a bad person, but not something that you are comfortable with at that point, that you would have to eventually go back home. So I don't know. With me personally, I feel like it depends on the reason that you are giving me. If you are talking about, as Charisma said, you've done some research and then you've got to know that, oh, based on this and this and that, this is how these people treat their wives. They don't treat them good, this and this and that. Or you have reasons um, pertaining to the person's integrity, their personality, based on what you know of them, not based on your perception, like, oh, looking from afar. These people, every time you see the women in their family, they are always wearing short knickers. So I think those family, they are not good people. If you come to me with that explanation, I'm not, please, I'm out. So if there's a reason why I shouldn't marry a certain person, you sit me down and you give me, like, in the court of criminal, we Omeka just say, what without reasonable doubt.
You prove beyond
Prove
reasonable
without
doubt.
thank you. Prove beyond reasonable doubt. Give me that proof so that there's no doubt anywhere that this is not a better marriage for me. However, personally, I always say that I would choose a marriage where I'm accepted by the family, even maybe more than my husband, than a marriage where I am not accepted by the family. I don't know if you get my point. So
I
if
guess
I'm with somebody and I feel like, I mean, it's not like I don't love him, but it's a normal kind of way. But when it comes to his family, like, they cherish me compared to a relationship where it's only my husband who cherishes me and I don't get the same kind of love from the family. I would choose the previous one, somebody that I know they care about me, but it's not like, oh, you're my queen. But then when the mother sees me, she's like, oh, my queen, come and sit here, come and let me serve you food.
We trim there or
Because
there.
when you have an issue, you always have the backing of the family. Because I know people that, hey, from crowd, they'll say no, is this girl that they want? And eventually, like, you would have to marry that person because they love her so much, and like, they cherish her, they treat her like a queen and all that. I would prefer a marriage like that over a marriage where there's kind of like tension amongst the in-laws. You are only cherished in your marital home, but outside your marital home, everybody is like, please sit somewhere here and let's let's move on with our lives. Kinky, what do you
Even
have to
I
say?
think that, like, when it comes to a situation like that, it's tricky because people say this thing that, like, you see how boys are. Let me use boys as an example. see, your boyfriend's friends can love you, cook for them, you do everything for them. He'll be cheating on you, and they'll still be calling you our
Oh
wife.
yeah, of course. But I'm
So
talking.
there are
I'm
some
saying
people
that
who
in
are like
all
that.
the
They
good.
love you.
I'm saying that in all the good ways, not in the negative ways. Yeah.
Yes, that's
In
what I'm
all
saying.
the
That like
good ways.
it's tricky. There are
Yeah.
some people who love you, but they will see what their son is doing, but they'll say
Of
that like
course.
after
Of
all,
course.
he is our son.
They'll
Like
just
they don't
use
look at
that
the
love
two of you.
to. It's like a camouflage kind of love.
Exactly.
Make you
And some
feel
of them
so
can
comfortable.
genuinely
So yeah.
some of them can genuinely love you, but then they will still choose him over you. The other day
Of
when
course.
I kind of like moved to a new place, right? So when we're like doing works on the house, the carpenter was saying something about this whole men cheating thing. And I was like, me, if that's the case, then I don't think I want to get married. So there was this older woman who was passing by. So she beckoned to me. She said, "Come, my dear, let me tell you something." And I was like, hey, it looks like this. You know how like then they will start talking plainly. And I don't like when people like exaggerate things, like say it in few sentences and get over and done with it. So in my head, I'm like, hey, what's this woman coming to say? But funny enough, she kept it really simple and short. She said, let me just give you one sentence. Never marry a man that you love. Marry a man who loves you. Because once a man loves you, it's
He'll
like
do
Jesus loves you.
everything.
Will do everything for you.
That's
So
true.
and also in a marriage like that, that's what I'm saying, it's tricky, right?
Yeah.
You have to be intentional about the kind of home you want to build. Because if you marry a man who loves you and who is intentional about how he treats you and about the kind of family that you're going to build together, excuse me to say, but like F his entire family. You see, there's a reason the Bible said a man will leave his
leave
parents
his home
and be joined to his wife. Okay. So once your man has that understanding and that revelation that like, okay, it's time for me to leave my parents and become one with my wife, then it means that like if my wife is sick, I'm sick. If my wife is poor, I'm poor. Then he now understands that he's your covering, he's your protector. So no matter what, even if you guys are arguing, he's still your protector. So like you guys have to settle it and all of that. And then he will know that. And if a man really loves you, he should know that, oh, my family, this is how my family feels about my wife. So let me make provisions or contingencies in case I am not there, in case I drop dead today, in case this and this happen, my family is protected and taken care of.
That's very true.
Do you see? So me, honestly, I think scientists should invent this love measuring equipment. I love you 10%, you love me like 100%. Then
So
I
that
know that like
you know if the man loves you more.
you know. And this is one last thing I want to say is I'm sure there's a lot of controversy surrounding it, but then if you're a woman and you're going into a marriage and you're not sure of your chances, or you feel that like you're not really certain about why this person is choosing to be with you, please, my dear and my dear and my dear, marriage in itself is a contract. Marriage is a contract between you and your husband, between you and God, between you and the country that you are getting married in. So don't let anybody deceive you that prenup is bad. It's not bad though. If you feel like you need to protect yourself, protect yourself. It's important. And also, if you are going into a marriage, we as African women, I've seen this happen a lot of times. Where we also kind of raise to believe that like, man to come and marry me and my dear, keep quiet and make your own money. Hustle. If your husband is rich or not, hustle. See, men will respect you if you have something that you're doing for yourself. It might not be as compared to what he is getting, but like have something doing for yourself and save for yourself. Even if you have a joint account, have an account and save for yourself. So that you know that in case you drops dead today, in case something happens to you today, you and your children are taken care of. And know what your husband is doing with your family money, because the money is not for only him. Like know what is going on, be involved in the decision making process of your house, because I feel like that's a lot of mistake African women do, that the men have the audacity and the freedom to go and spend money outside and do women and things. Because like if at the end of the month we come, oh, you earn 2,000, I earn 2,000, this how much goes into school fees, this how much goes into this and that, and you're street with accounting it, ask me where you get the money to go and give that side chick. No, ask me. You see, so it's important for us to take petty, because I feel like these are some of the things that give men the leeway to do certain things like this. So back to the point. Choose a man who loves you. Because when I actually thought about what the older woman told me, it really made sense to me. Because like I have an uncle and his wife is troublesome. Troublesome. But the way he protects his wife, me, I know I'm Takashi, I know I'm troublesome. If my husband somebody tries, I will beat you. You come to my house and come and disrespect me and go. Me and find chill. So I need a man who will be like, no, don't disrespect my wife, because my wife, she's a ticking time bomb. If you do, she'll give it to you. She gets it. No, it's true. And there are men who choose the side of their families over their wife. But then at that point, your family is your first family. That should be your priority. They should be the one you protect before your extended family. Your parents paid your school fees and all of that, but now this is your home. If something happens to you today, your wife is the one going to be there. You will be her burden. She will be your burden. So understand that, like, that is your primary, like, responsibility. Like, one year be a protector and a provider for your home. Do you get it?
Okay.
So
Our time is way gone. Over 2 hours. Oh my gosh.
It was a really good conversation, though.
But it's been very, very interesting. Kiki, you've already said your last words. Charisma, please wrap up for us and let's go to bed.
It's really quiet.
What's your final thoughts about the whole thing, so that we can go off to
at
bed?
the end of the day, it's you first, and what any other person thinks last. You should always go for what makes you happy, but doesn't hurt other people. You know what I mean? But your happiness first. And I like your hair, Kinky. I really like your hair. I was just looking through your Instagram page now. I followed you. Maybe I have to a few
Thank
products
you.
from
I'll
you.
follow you right back.
Yeah. It's been and maybe I will buy you a first sex toy. I'm just joking.
You do.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Kwesa would die.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying today's conversation. Now I've learned a lot of things from Crystal. Oh, he's gone.
Crystal Global.
And I hope
just
to be back. You guys are amazing, and always choose yourself first.
Yeah. But I like how Quacho talks. Like he's
Thank you guys so much.
He strikes me as someone who is. I'm like Quacho. I'm sorry if I'm not mentioning your name right, but like he strikes me as someone who is very intentional about his actions, what he does, how he treats people.
Yeah.
And from his speech, you can tell that like he's very matured. And as he said, like I like the fact that he set himself up to be an student.
So you want a second wife? Ask your wife if like
Please, I cannot be anybody.
Allow you to marry a second wife. I'm available.
No, I want to be number one.
That's
what you're
I'm very submissive.
Oh, she's
so I just like the fact that he's matured.
Yeah, I'm very submissive. I would change. I would do anything to make you happy.
Me, I am
24 hours, 7 days a week, non-stop.
If you are
these
watching
people be running
life,
people's husbands, so
I am
Kinky,
not
please.
at all. I am not your regular African Ghanaian lady, not at all. I have a different mentality totally. I am so different from your regular Ghanaian or African woman. I just love I love being African. But I think my mind is so out of Africa.
It's westernized.
Yeah, maybe you can say that. It's not maybe.
But I think
It's
there's
not.
a balance.
I don't
Balance.
think there's anything
Not
wrong with a woman submitting
westernized.
to a
It's
man.
more.
Like I always
It's more
say to
liberal.
people, like most men think that because the Bible says women should submit to men, automatically submission is part of the woman. But it's something that is nurtured. You know,
It's
you have
not.
to you have to.
Thank
And
you.
I don't think there's
Exactly.
nothing wrong for me if you are being the man that I want to see. Why wouldn't I
Then
submit to
it
you?
will
I would
come
gladly
naturally for you to
submit to
submit.
you. But
Yeah.
if you're maltreating me, then I will also rebel.
Yeah, that's it. That's
You know,
me.
my
Like,
pastor says, let me just say this last thing. My pastor said this once. He's like, fine, the Bible says women should submit to men, but then don't forget, I feel like African, even when pastors are advising men, I'm sorry, but like, I'm not trying to ostracize the church, but the church is kind of part of the problem
of
in a
course,
way.
they are not kind of.
Because,
They are.
see, my issue is if you're reading the Bible, don't read one part of the Bible. Read the whole thing and have
They
revelation.
don't.
My mom used to tell me this thing that like me, I'm someone like I'll tell you my mind, okay? Like I don't keep things, I'll tell you. My mother is like, and the Bible says, parents obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. This is the only commandment that
Children,
comes with
obey
a
your.
promise. One day she did, and I told her, Mama, do you know it's written in the Bible that parents do not provoke your
Provide.
children to anger? Do you know it's in the Bible? And she was shocked for a moment because my mom, like, I'm not the kind of person you see holding Bible and going around. So she was shocked that, like, I actually quoted that part of the Bible for her. Now, my point is the Bible says for women, submit to your wife, submit to your husbands. But the Bible also says, husbands, love your wives as Christ loved the church. Now look at the
And-
kind of love Christ had
and-
for the church.
And let me
Tell me that
add
if
to
you give
that.
your wife that kind of love, she will not submit.
Kinky,
Tell
let me
me.
add to that. Sometimes the argument that they give is that it says that submit and then the husband will love. But actually, the Bible says love first and then the person will submit. But they start reading the submission part first. So it's like, because there's submission and there's love, right? So which one comes first? And the Bible makes it clear. The love comes first. And then because I cannot submit to somebody who doesn't love me. But as Charisma says, if you're the man that I need in my life, meaning that you love me as Christ loved the church or
The
whatever,
church.
it is
That's
so
key word,
easy
as
for
Christ
me.
loved the church.
It is so easy for me to submit to you because you love me. And I also have
And you
one
make it
problem
easy
with
for me to submit to you.
to
Because
submit
you
to
show
you
me
because
love.
you love me. And then also as a man, you know that you go in. There's one problem I have with men lately. You go in for the woman. So it's like, as I'm here, I'm in my house, right? I'm not in love with anybody. So you, the man, being the
But
man,
tomorrow you
would
get
see
Valentine's
me.
gift.
You will see me, and you'll be like, "Oh, I like this person," and then you approach me, right? But as I am, I'm neutral. I don't have any feelings going on there. You have seen me, and you've decided that you like me, and then you come to me. So now you have to show me why I should love you back. You have to prove to me why, as me, I'm just in my house minding my own business. I should see you in a different way. Why? Oh, okay. This man says he likes me. Why should I like him back? Because he's doing all these things, A, B, and C. He's loving me, and then I can love him back, or I can like him back, or I can submit to him, or whatever. But we don't do that too.
Yvonne,
African men don't do that. They
true
want
one.
you to respect them and submit to them before they would
They
love you.
almost
How can I
admit
submit to somebody that I don't know? Somebody who doesn't love me, somebody who has not shown me any reason for me to submit to. How do I submit
the
to
thing
such a
is,
person?
me, my problem is not even with that. Oh. My problem is the way they demand respect. Respect is two things.
Yeah.
Respect is not demanded. Respect is either
It's N.
earned or commanded.
Yeah.
You either earn respect, yeah. I've opened it. And the trapdoor, sorry. You either earn respect or you command it. You see, there are some people when they walk into a room, they command presence.
Yeah.
So that one too is there. But then in a relationship, respect is earned. You can't be telling me that, oh, you are a serial cheater, you are cheating on me every day and I should respect you. Are you mad? Like
Anyway, I wanted Kwecho to have a last word so that we wrap
yourself.
up.
Yeah.
He's back. Okay, let's Kwecho have a last word and
Sure.
then we'll wrap up. We are almost 2 hours, 30 minutes. So what last word do you have to say, Kwecho? And then we'll call it a night. Tomorrow is Valentine. Those of us who don't have Valentine, let's go and think about
Oh, remember we have a
lost
date tomorrow.
See my side
7
chick.
p.m. 7 p.m. sharp.
Please, I'm single.
We have a date. We are all single, madam. Please. Question over to you.
Once again, I will say that a relationship is not about you, but it is about you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Love, respect, submission, whatever it is. If you don't know it, you don't know it. And that's what's going to affect you and the relationship you are in. Okay. Dr. Momo asked this question. It says that if you know the you are or you know, would you do you? If you know the you know, would you date you? In essence, have you known yourself? And if the you know right now, would you date you? If you can date you, I'm sure you can date somebody else. How do you get where I'm coming from? All right.
Yeah.
So let's find out the intricacies about relationship or marriage, about even us ourselves. And then when we find those things out, it will help us to be able to regulate ourselves and our relationships and our marriages well, honestly. And I wanted to tell you, Yvonne, something that I did a video on my channel recently. It's not the conversation with Osei, but I've done some videos on my channel. I'm doing something addressing men. I think you should check it out.
On
And
your couple's channel.
no, my personal channel, the Question
Okay.
Global channel.
Send me
You
the
should
link
check
on Instagram. Let me check it
I'll
out later.
do that. So check it out. I'm talking to the men, but it's hitting the women as well. Tomorrow I'll upload a video on uh, something that I think it will interest all of you. But like I said, we need to learn. When we give ourselves to learning, we will be better. Trust me, because all the problems we are having, all the conception and misconceptions we are having to everything and anything, is just a knowledge problem. You don't have an information in that area. So when we get the information, it will help us have a better way to go about it. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, guys, I wish we could do this for like 6 hours.
My
It's been
battery is
very,
low.
very interesting. It's been very, very interesting, but some of us have to go and eat. Some of us have to go and take care of babies. Some of us have to go
Yeah,
and book. Some of us have to go and book our vows nights. I posted that I wanted to go somewhere for dinner. Somebody should pay for me. 1 week in here, Obiam can say, "Oh, Yvonne, I'll take you there." But they are always in my DMs asking
Ghana boy is
unnecessary questions.
Ghana boy is
Unnecessary. Hi. Lovely smile. I don't know, Midi. Take me to dinner. You can't afford it. Please don't come and disturb me. Why?
Oh my
But
God.
anyway, thank you guys so much for honoring my invitation to join my
Some of
live.
us need to go and wax for tomorrow.
We have to do what?
Wax for tomorrow.
So I have to go and wax for tomorrow. Okay, some people are getting pregnant tomorrow.
Some of us,
Let
we
me
don't
finish
have
my wrap up. Why?
Wait, so we're in February, right? March, April, May, June, August. Oh, by December, people will be having.
Hey, charisma. Jesus is Lord.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
please, I want to be your second wife. Couldn't ask your wife, huh? That
What do you
No,
guys think?
he will not agree. Please,
yeah, I want to be your
let me
second
finish
wife.
wrapping up.
He's
Jesus
a
Christ. Ah,
newlywed, though. He's a newlywed.
yeah, it's
It
not even
doesn't
a
matter.
year.
I
The
want to
It's
fire
not.
come
has
and
not even
support her,
died
do
down.
all the work, the job for her, you know? Just support her.
And then
Be
also,
her
I
sister
want
wife.
to please, people, let me finish wrapping up. Jesus Christ. Ah,
We are sorry.
I,
Continue.
I will link the two of you up. Why? Please, do the whatever. Nabeya no second wife. I also want to thank my subscribers, those who have stayed with me for 2 hours, 34 minutes. Thank you so much for watching and for interacting in the comment section. I appreciate you guys so much. I know I've been away for a while. I'm still trying to get into the zone of editing and all that. So hopefully next week, hopefully, fingers crossed. Next week I'll drop a new video. Once I feel like once I drop one video, that's it. It will just kickstart. But I am very, very demotivated at the moment to like edit and post. So I hope I get over that very soon. But thank you guys so much. Somebody says what? Wax for tonight. Somebody actually said Valentine is over in Australia, I think, because it's Monday today or whatever. So it's almost over. So those who lead us weeks or days or hours, no, Valentine is almost over in their country, and we are here thinking of Valentine. But
And
anyway,
their
the
time
single
has passed.
ladies,
Their time has come.
let's meet tomorrow and have a date night.
Maybe we have a glass
Let's
of wine,
let's drink some wine, and chill and leave those married
champagne.
people.
Some of us,
People
we
are
are
just
single, but lucky we are not single. Oh, so you're on your own.
Wait, please be careful, eh? Be careful.
and somebody I know, she's always saying I'm single, but ube one say
What do you want to
come
say
to
here?
this place. Eh?
What do you want to
What
say
they
here?
are
What do I
trying
want
to
to
Somebody
for
you
say,
know. Who are
say?
you
invitation.
referring to?
What do I want to say, say? Okay, so this will be the end of our live. Question Global, thank you so much. Please extend your my greetings to your wife, Kinky Kelly. Thank you, girls, so much
Please
for honoring
subscribe
this
to my channel.
invitation.
That's all I want. Subscribe to my
Yes,
channel.
please,
What's
everyone.
your
Oh, I
channel's
forgot to do
name?
that. Oh,
Pardon?
please
What's your
subscribe
channel's
to
name?
the
Kinky
same name,
Curly
Kinky
Africa.
Kelly Africa.
I'm gonna
And
follow you
Petro
now.
also has um a channel. So which one are you active now? On your couple's channel? Because on your personal channel, I don't see any videos there again.
Oh, then you didn't put on my notifications. So put the
I
notifications.
haven't. Sometimes you don't get notifications for. There
Okay,
are
I want
people
to
Immediately.
that I'm
ask you a
subscribed to
question.
that I don't get notifications. So
Would you
when
like
a
to?
thought comes to mind, I actually go to their page and then
Yeah.
find out like if they've uploaded videos. So I'll do check that out.
Eva, let
Petro
me ask
Global
you a
is
question,
also
please. Can I get your contact? Because not because I want to marry you, but because I want you to guest blog on an online magazine platform about relationships. If I could get your contact you and talk to you about it, would be nice.
See him in the
okay.
DMs.
I will link
Wife will
the two
not
of
like
you on
this.
Instagram.
His
Then
wife
we
will not
can,
like this.
Okay, wifey, please. I'm officially asking for your permission to contact your husband to talk to him about something,
On
not
behalf of his wife,
Uh,
send me an email and we'll book a
bye
consultation.
bye. Bye bye. We are done. It's over. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Love me to
Thank you
all
so
of you.
much, guys. Charisma,
thank
thank
you.
you. It was nice having you guys on board. We'll have to do a part 2 of this, and I hope that all
Yes.
of you will come back on
Maybe after
board.
Valentine when some of us are pregnant.
Oh, bye bye. Love you.
Bye.
Oh my God.
Bye.
Question should be the one getting people pregnant.
Bye bye.